Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday, December 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 61. Coming up on OTB, Aaron Murray joins the show at 7:30 to talk college football, and Matt Flynn joins us in studio at 8 a.m. for a full hour of flestering. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, and welcome in to OTB here on a Wednesday morning. Hopefully so far your morning's good, because if your morning's bad already, then you're probably going to have a bad day. But it's okay. We're going to try to make it better here at 7:01 on a Wednesday morning. Jake, Mario, and Taylor here with you. Again, T-Bob going to be out the rest of the week as he is enjoying a good family vacation there at Disney. A lot to get to, as you can imagine, because, well, this is a great time of year. It's a time of college football. At the time of college football playoff, Heisman trophies, NBA starting to make its way into our eyesight, certainly some NFL discussion. But before we get into anything like we do every single morning, a little vibe check around the room. Mario, I'm sure you stayed up probably past your bedtime watching a little Lakers Suns.
I did, but I also got a nap in yesterday, so caught up on sleep. And yeah, that was an entertaining game. Suns kind of got screwed at the end there, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was pumped for Pels and Lakers Thursday night.
Taylor, I'm sure
good.
you did not stay up and watch the Suns Lakers.
I did not, but I also didn't get a nap in, so we might be running on the same amount of sleep. I don't know, repping Southeastern for the first time in a long time.
Okay, all right.
Found this in the back of my closet, and I was like, okay, let's go. I guess that's what we're doing. No, feeling good. Mario's favorite player, Austin Reeves, had some big shots last night, so I'm sure Mario's in a good mood. But, yeah, excited to be here.
Mario, you hate Austin Reeves?
Kind of, yeah.
He does.
I don't have a good reason. I just don't like the guy. I don't like looking at him. I don't like when he does well. Yeah, don't care for him.
It's a little surprising.
Yeah, it's, kind of plays the role on that team, my least favorite team in the NBA.
Yeah, okay.
You'll enjoy
I know
this.
that. I definitely know the Lakers are your least favorite team.
Yeah.
When I found out Mario didn't like Austin Reeves, I was like, okay, I now like Austin Reeves, so I can mess with Mario.
He does.
Okay.
I literally like Austin Reeves because Mario doesn't.
Well,
I
it's
don't
no
know anything
surprise,
about it.
actually, that you like Austin Reeves. That's actually not the surprise here.
Thank you, T-Bob.
I can see that you like him there. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Mario, can you get Kelly 18 ready to go? Because this is something that we talked about yesterday. And we know there's no football outside of Army Navy this weekend on Saturday up there in Boston. And again, looking forward to that trip, but maybe more so looking forward to going to New York and likely watching Jayden Daniels win a Heisman Trophy. And we talked about what that can mean for, obviously, like the individual, and Jayden Daniels has put himself in a great position to be, honestly, a first-round quarterback. Like, that conversation isn't just here in Baton Rouge because we like watching Jayden Daniels play, because we're going to be biased towards an LSU player. That's according to people that I respect that cover the draft for a living. In fact, Matt Miller, somebody that I've known for a very long time, and I'm talking with him yesterday, he's putting something out about the way Jayden throws the football down the field and how it's the best in his class of throws 20-plus yards. Like, think about that. Like, think about the position that he has put himself in compared to what we thought about Jayden Daniels a year ago. And I certainly want to get to Jayden Daniels' portion of this, but also something we spent a lot of time on yesterday, having a Heisman finalist, potentially a winner, and what that does for recruiting and what it does for LSU in the future. Here is Brian Kelly on.
I think all of them go to, certainly if you come to LSU, you keep the dream alive for this. Everybody has a dream of being a Heisman Trophy winner or winning the Blitnikoff or winning, any of the trophies that are on display in the front of our lobby. It's not something that you can't achieve. So when you have a situation where In 19, we had a Heisman Trophy winner, and hopefully we have one in 23. That's really powerful when you have 2 Heisman Trophy winners in such a short period of time, especially at the quarterback position. So I would not minimize the importance of that in the ability to recruit and the ability to retain.
I think it's massive if you actually do the things that Brian Kelly said there. Now, I have full confidence that they will. You have to use that to your advantage, the ultimate advantage, and certainly now more so than ever before, okay? Like, it can help you, sure, in high school recruiting, right? You can show the Heisman trophies off. You can show 2 in the last 5 years. Like, you can roll out the red carpet for any quarterback coming through in the high school ranks. By the way, Coach Brian Kelly did leave the low man trophy off of that award list that he just shouted out. Goes to the nation's top fullback, but it's okay. We'll have that discussion a little bit later on. But what you can do for that has to be something that hits the high school ranks, and it has to hit the transfer portal. Again, we talked about it yesterday. Not every year is going to be the same in the transfer portal as far as quarterback and what you need. There's a certain quarterback role that you need to fill through the portal this year, but next year, 2 years, that can change. And right now in the portal, just like Oklahoma used it, right? When you have Baker Mayfield, you get Kyler Murray, you get Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen didn't win it, but he was second. It took one of the best years in college football history to keep him from winning a Heisman Trophy. That's what you have to become, right? You don't win it in 19 and then not reap any benefit from winning a Heisman Trophy and all the awards in the national championship that LSU won. Like, when you win these things that are in rarefied air, and the Heisman Trophy is one, there's one in all of college football, 133 teams, 85 scholarship players per team, one guy wins that trophy, you have to use that to your advantage, and not just a little bit, right? It's got to be greatly used to your advantage. And so that's something, and boys, we talked about it yesterday. I mean, I don't know if y'all disagree. I think in 2019 you had an opportunity, and I know what you lost, right? I know the players that you lost, but also, did y'all feel like there was anything that was used from that to parlay into the next season?
Maybe not into the next season, but into the direct future. You know, it showed that a quarterback could come to LSU and succeed. You're going to have good receivers. Even in the down year, you had great receivers putting up good numbers. So, yeah, it was really beneficial, just like this would be.
Yeah, you know, you talked about it yesterday, the peaks and valleys. 2020 and 2021 were definitely a valley. I think that coaching staff, while they did a great job in 2019, you know, they struggled to replace that Joe Burrow. And like you were talking about yesterday, like, you have an opportunity here with Jayden Daniels possibly winning the Heisman Trophy to continue that. And I like that you brought up Baker to Kyler Murray to Jalen Hurts, but it goes further than that with Oklahoma. I mean, Spencer Rattler didn't work out, but he was the number 1 quarterback in the country. He comes in. He actually has a decent first year. Even though they have a returning quarterback in Spencer Rattler, what happens? Caleb Williams, who could go anywhere in the country he wanted to go, he's like, no, even though they have a starter, I'm good enough to beat him out, and I want to go to Oklahoma. That's the best place for me to showcase my abilities under a Lincoln Riley. I mean, that's something you can build off of. So, I mean, you basically go Baker, Kyler, Jalen Hurts, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams, 5 in a row. I mean, find me a school that wouldn't take that. That's something you can become if you do it right.
Yeah, I mean, that's 4 first-round quarterbacks, and we'll see where Spencer Rattler ends up going. But you're right; it's a great point. You obviously benefited in the high school ranks as well. So that is something that, if you have it, nobody else really does, and you want to see them use to their advantage. Can you get Kelly 13 ready to go here, Mario? Something else we talked about, speaking of quarterbacks in the transfer portal, like, where would LSU maybe look? Because you have a Garrett Nussmeier. You have somebody that's waited their turn. We talked about a couple of different guys on yesterday's show because we kind of put it in a mold like, hey, here's what you're probably looking for. You're not looking for the top guy in the transfer portal, but you do want to add somebody that has starts, somebody that has been successful at times as a starting quarterback, and not just, you don't want a guy that's not playing, and right, you're not looking for a Joe Burrow right now, somebody that's not playing and you think that they can be really, really good and you're going off potential. You're looking for somebody that has starts, that has had good times. Maybe it's not the superstar guy because you do have Garrett Nussmeier, but you want to bring somebody in. You want to, provide competition with Garrett Nussmeier. You want to push him every single day. And also, if he got hurt, if he had to miss a game, If something happened, you'd want to have a guy who has experience. And MJ Morris was the guy that we talked about out of NC State, just because, quickly his name got attached to LSU. There is a slew of quarterbacks in the transfer portal from every different experience level that you can imagine. But that was one of the names that we brought up, and he kind of fit what we think LSU is probably looking for. Last year played in 4 games, got a win over Miami, a win over Clemson, throws for 700 yards, had 7 touchdown passes. And so that's the type of quarterback that you'll probably see LSU attached to. But Brian Kelly did talk about bringing in a quarterback through the portal, even with Garrett Nussmeier on the roster.
This is a world that we live in that has got to be handled with transparency. If not, you're going to find yourself without the right personnel. So if we were to ever do anything in the transfer portal relative to a quarterback, we're talking to everybody in that room. And we're talking to recruits. We're talking to everybody. It is about transparency. It's about honesty. And it's about saying, if we're doing that, here's why we're doing it. And then making a decision and doing it. Because, again, the most important thing here is what's in the best interest of LSU's football program, not what's in the best interest of a singular person.
That might seem harsh to a lot of people, but he's exactly right. It's about those 3 letters in those 2 colors. That's what it's about. It's about how can we make this football program the best possible program that we can. And I'm not just talking about the quarterback position. I'm talking about any position. Like, no matter where we're going. Hey, you're a defensive lineman. You've waited your turn. It's your turn. Now you're up. But you know what? There's 3 guys right now in the portal that really want to come check LSU out, and we have to do our due diligence. Negligent if we don't. Right? You have to do those things. Now, if you're that player, you have 2 choices. You can sulk about it. You can be mad about it. You can paddle about it. And in the offseason program, the entire time, you're not doing the things that you have to do. All you're thinking about is the guy that they wanted to bring in, or maybe the guy that they did bring in, whatever the situation might be. Or you can go compete, right? It's going to make, as Macho Man Randy Savage said, it's going to make the cream rise to the top. So those things are good for LSU. Now, if we go back to the quarterback position, I don't know that I've ever met a young man with a stronger mentality than Garrett Nussmeier. I just don't know that I have, right? I've met some that are right there with him and some that have got to that point once they became the dude. But for somebody that, doesn't have starts under his belt, it's a very confident young man. And I said it yesterday. We're not talking about cocky. We're talking about confident. There's a difference. And I think he's going to thrive in a competition. I think this is something where you're going to get the best version of Garrett Nussmeier. So where LSU looks as far as quarterback in the portal will be interesting. We think we know what kind of guy they're looking after, but some other positions, and we'll update it throughout the show. Defensive line, there is a ton of NFL talented type guys in the portal at that position. Certainly a position that LSU probably is going to look at heavily. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll continue that Jayden Daniels conversation. What is it going to look like for him on Sundays? Also, Malik Neighbors getting a ton of love, as you can probably expect, as far as where he's going to get drafted in the NFL draft coming up. And, again, he said he was going to play in the bowl game. He wants to be LSU's all-time leading receiver, and so that's something we're on the lookout for. Is Malik going to play? Who else is going to play? Who else is going to maybe potentially opt out of the bowl game for LSU? A lot still coming your way. It is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to K2ZBlinds.com, K2ZBlinds.com, KTOZBlinds.com. Now they're going to come out and they are going to learn your space. That's interior and exterior. Like for us, we used them for the exterior. We had an outdoor kitchen space and it was getting too much sun, right? Too many bugs, too many lizards, too many different things are back there, right? We wanted a solution for it. Well, Brandon comes out and we thought we were going to get this thin little layered nothing screen that was just going to really kind of shade it, maybe keep some of the bugs out. He goes, no, here's what you need because of where the sun sets. I mean, he has his compass out. I mean, he's doing the whole due diligence. Like, this is what you need, and go ahead and choose your color. And again, had no idea. I thought you're getting a black screen. That's the only color that they're going to have, and no. Yeah, they get to color match it to your home. Every option available for you. K2ZBlinds.com. Get the consultation set up today. K2ZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink.
This Sunday, as we bring you 3 different NFL games, we'll kick things off with our noon kickoff. It's the Jaguars and Browns. Immediately following that, it's Bills and Chiefs, and then our nightcap, the Eagles at Cowboys. Tune in to hear all 3 of those games here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB. Left off talking about Jayden Daniels, and one of the things I've really enjoyed this season is watching his draft stock just continue to rise and really soar. This is somebody, you know, a year ago that a lot of people had as a day 3 NFL draft choice. Said a lot of things about him. Talked about his running ability, said he couldn't throw A, B, and C. Well, of course, this year he made A, B, C, and D, and really just grew his game. And it's not it's not dissimilar from what we saw in Joe Burrow from 2018. Wanted to see him grow in 2019. He did that and then some. And like Jayden Daniels last year was not a bad quarterback. Don't mistake that. But what he did this year, it appealed to professional football, to NFL scouts. He did the things that he had to do to change the narrative of his draft stock. And one of the guys that I respect the most in the business, Matt Miller of ESPN. I mean, Matt's done a great job. He's worked his way all the way up to ESPN. I see a tweet from him yesterday, right? Jayden Daniels' deep ball is truly a thing of beauty. Just finished watching cut-ups of his deep passes only, and my goodness, best in the class. 22 touchdowns, no interceptions on throws 20-plus yards. Yes, his receivers are good, but that's a lot of ball placement and touch. Jayden Daniels, the quarterback that a year ago, you're begging him to throw the football deep, begging him to push the ball down the field. Well, not only does he work on that, now you've got NFL draft experts saying he's the best deep ball thrower in the class. 22 touchdowns, no interceptions of 20-plus yard throws. That's elite at its highest level. And he has put himself now into a conversation of, without a doubt, being a first-round pick, but how high can he go now? Like, what is the ceiling for how high he can get drafted? I don't know, right? I know this is a quarterback-heavy draft. I mean, I saw guys telling me earlier in the season that Caleb Williams was a better prospect than Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. I saw one guy say that he throws it better than Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence and runs it better than Lamar. That was an actual thing that I saw from somebody who gets paid to talk about the NFL draft, right? And Caleb Williams, I think, is a really good football player. His skill set, it's not refined, and some people would push back on that. It's not. I mean, there's some chaos to his skill set. Now, that's okay. You can have some chaos to your skill set. Patrick Mahomes has some chaos to his skill set. But it is going to be fascinating to see where Jayden Daniels can play himself in this NFL draft. And another question came in for Matt Miller because he was praising Jayden Daniels. And one of the guys on Twitter says, okay, well, where do you have him and Michael Penix when you're comparing them? He answers, I have Daniels firmly ahead of Penix, firmly ahead of him. So when we start looking at quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, Drake May, some of those names that we've heard for like 2 or 3 years, they might be ahead of him, but Jayden might have his opportunity. Now, I don't know if he's going to play in the Senior Bowl. He's been invited to the Senior Bowl. That would be, I think, beneficial for him if he's trying to fight his way back. Now, if he's getting word that he doesn't need to go to the Senior Bowl, then I think he's going to do okay there. But where do we think the ceiling for Jayden Daniels can be in the draft?
I think he's top 10 for sure is the ceiling. Fair or unfair, I think had LSU had more team success, he'd probably shoot up the draft boards like Joe Burrow did a couple years ago. But he's going to be a top 10 pick in my opinion. Matter of fact, I saw him mock to the Saints a couple days ago because they have the number 9 pick right now.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I don't know if he will be a top 10 pick, but there's a lot of people that are mocking it right now. As far as the whole Penix thing, I would also have Jayden over Michael Penix before the season. No. Look, it's one of those things where it's like, are either of them finished products in the passing game? No, even though Jayden's a lot better this year than he was last year. He runs the ball a lot better, so you know that's there. Penix is basically no threat to run the football. Also, if you watch that Pac-12 championship, while Penix was good, he has a tendency to throw the ball off his back foot a little bit too much, as a matter of fact. That's going to hurt him in the NFL. I think Jayden's gotten a lot better with his mechanics. And look, say what you want. Everybody's like, oh, well, the pro days and all that. People love mechanics in the NFL. I mean, you hear it all the time with people coming out. And right now, Jayden's probably got the better mechanics of the two, even though Penix has a bigger arm. So I think the NFL scouts, they're going to value that. So I think Jayden actually does go ahead of Michael Penix.
One of the write-ups that I saw from Mel Kiper Jr., and he's talking about Jayden Daniels. I don't have an elite top 5 grade on Daniels. Caleb Williams and Drake May are higher on my board, but he's trending toward being a first-round pick, especially in a draft in which multiple teams have quarterback issues. I have a round 1 grade on him. I could see Las Vegas projected to be a top 10 pick right there at number 9, Tampa Bay at number 10, Atlanta at 13, and Minnesota at 21. These are all projected where they're going to finish. All could certainly consider Jayden Daniels in the first round. Do not make him a Raider. Don't do that to us. Don't make him a Falcon or a Buck. Like, we don't, like, I hope he gets drafted in the top 10. We do not need Jayden Daniels as an Atlanta Falcon. Mario, your head would explode.
Yeah, nah, we don't need that. We've had, some guys from LSU go to the division and play well, but a quarterback, that would be a freaking nightmare.
Yeah,
especially a Heisman winning.
We don't, like, if I had to choose two of the four that you can't play for, you can't play for the Raiders, you can't play for the Falcons. I remember, it's funny enough, I mean, it was in New York City. I'm sitting there and it's after the ceremony, and Joe had already won, and we're at the after party, and one of his brothers is sitting there talking with him. We were talking about different NFL teams, maybe where Joe could end up. And at the time, like the Raiders, because they're the Raiders, like they were in contention for the number 1 pick or whatever. And I was like, look, he can't go there. And his brother's like, what? And I was like, no, that's the worst organization of all time. He cannot go to the Raiders. He goes, man, you got to go where you go. I go, I understand that. But if you can do anything in your power not to go to the Raiders, try to find a way to not make that happen, because that is the worst franchise in the NFL. And it's gotten a little bit better, but not much better, because they just hired Josh McDaniels not that long ago and fired him already.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember when Burrow was coming out, everybody was like, he can't go to Cincinnati. You can't win there or whatever. I'm like, guys, as far as a number 1 pick goes, there's a lot worse organizations you could go to Cincinnati. I never understood the hate there. And I mean, look what he did. In year 2, he took them to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I agree. That Raiders organization, it just seems like no matter who their coach is, no matter who their quarterback is, no matter how many talented players they have, they can't turn the corner, just for whatever reason. Is it Mark Davis? Is it their GM? I don't like that spot for Jayden Daniels at all.
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's been, like, think about, now, obviously, like, this isn't all the team's fault, but, like, I saw the way that, Jamarcus Russell and how that went, and Lane Kiffin was the head coach at the time. Like, that's one, and maybe I'm too biased there. But, like, Darren McFadden was one. I was like, Darren McFadden's going to play however long he wants to play, 12 years at the running back position in the NFL, going to be a stud for 10 of those years, and then, going to be a quality player for his last 2. Like, that's the lowest thing I can see for Darren McFadden. But you go to Oakland. You go to Oakland and your career is just dead, and just because they moved to Vegas, don't allow that to fool you. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, going to be joined by our guy Aaron Murray here, talk a little college football. It is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Glow Resources. Complete employee solutions. GlowResources.com.
There's more than one way to listen to ESPN Baton Rouge on the radio at 104.5 and 104.9 and 98.1 HD2. Online at 1045ESPN.com and with the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Schneider's Golf Mechanics. J.D. Piquel, who's he picking for the Heisman? It's a What If Wednesday, and we'll talk some more LSU football. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. Rocking around, 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 rocking, 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 rocking.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB. Let's go ahead and go now to the phone lines. Our guy Aaron Murray joins us now. You can catch Aaron on ESPN Calling Games, Sirius XM, all over the place, 84, 374. And you can catch him every single day, well, with our guy, T-Bob A-Bear on Snaps on the Volume Sports Network, and he is good enough to join us while he is currently on daddy duty, Aaron, so we do appreciate that.
Well, I mean, you and I are on daddy duty every day, and we have to handle T-Bob for, you a few hours, me for an hour in the afternoon. How about our boy T-Bob making the top 100 list finally for Boomer?
He made it. Big game Boomer. T-Bob A-Bear coming in at number 100, but my guy T-Bob deserves to be way higher, first off.
Way higher.
We're glad that he is on the list because he did tell Big Game Boomer that he could do something, and I don't know what happened, but he did find his way onto the list at number 100. Shout out to Aaron Murray as well, number 28 on the list.
Hey, just try to catch you, Hester. Just try to catch you in the top 20. That goals, I went from like 40-something to 28. Slowly working my way down to the team, hopefully by next year.
Hey, look, just let me stay in front of him a fullback. That's what I do. I'm supposed to open up the path for you, right?
We gotta get T-Bob in the top 50 though. T-Bob's the top 50 guy. There's no doubt.
Oh, there's no doubt. T-Bob's without question a top 50 guy. Oh, shout out. I hear it in the background. Love it. Yeah, he's a top 50 guy. And look, when you told Big Game Boomer what he could do, he just got his attention. Now he's on the list. Now he's going to be put next year where he deserves. But hey, how's it been going Han Solo on snaps with no T-Bob?
Well, like you, I just bring in guests. So every day we've had a variety of guests. I heard J.D. Piquel's going to be another one of y'all shows. So J.D. was with me on Monday. I had a little Big Ten action yesterday with Jake Budd and Adam Brenneman.
Yeah.
And then Cole's going to join me this afternoon. So I don't know how you guys do solo. I just can't do the solo thing. So I resort to as many guests as possible. Unlike T-Bob, who if I'm out of town, T-Bob can roll for 2 hours by himself if he has to.
Dude, he'll do this show for 3 hours when I'm out doing something else, and he doesn't even like have a guest. Like he might have one guest, and he just rolls. And it's a special skill set certainly that T-Bob has. But you're right, like you just get guests, and then I've got two great producers here that know sports, and so I can throw stuff off of them. But yeah, talking to myself for 3 hours is not something I enjoy. So only a couple more days. This is my last day because I'm going to Army Navy tomorrow. So this is the last day.
Is T-Bob alive? Have we checked in? I know he. Somehow, I remember last year he was on this trip, or at some point, and he's at Epcot, and he's like drinking adult beverages. He's drinking beer. Like, T-Bob, how are you managing two kids? I think it was before Quad Bob, managing multiple kids while also, being slightly intoxicated. I thought was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. So,
well, I mean, have you ever seen
the third one?
Have you ever seen T-Bob in a post-game show? I mean, he can be deep in his cup and still give some great content. So, I mean, he's got practice doing this. Now, he's drinking those beers. Norwegian beers is what he was the most excited about, as he probably told you as well. So, I don't know. I hadn't heard from him, though. I wrote him yesterday, and I'm like, you made the list. Like, you're on the list. And I said that's still the greatest content that I think you've ever given us was his Big Game Boomer rant. And no answer. Just
no answer.
Goes on.
No answer. Probably lost his phone somewhere.
Yeah, there's no question about that. All right, Aaron, so you and I were both in Atlanta over the weekend. We did a pregame show, a lot of fun, me, you, CD, PB, and we all agreed that the Georgia Bulldogs were going to win the game. Doesn't go their way. Now, we all said it was going to be a 3-point game, but in Georgia's favor, it ends up being a 3-point game in Alabama's favor. So, like, what's the mood there now? Because nobody's talking about Georgia. They're talking about Florida State. They're talking about other things. But Georgia, I mean, they had a harsh fall. They go from number 1 to number 6 by losing in a neutral site game by 3. So, like, what's that conversation been around the Bulldog program?
Well, and I try to tell Georgia fans for the past 6 weeks, like, you could just tell the way things were shaping up that you could not afford to lose that game. That you could afford to lose, versus Ole Miss. You could afford to lose versus Tennessee. Couldn't afford to lose to Missouri because Missouri would have been in Atlanta. Hell, lose to Georgia Tech, but you had to win in Atlanta this year in order to get in. And there's one scenario that possibly that's a little bit untrue. And I was with a buddy of mine yesterday who's an Auburn grad, and he was kind of apologizing for Auburn kind of essentially screwing college football and letting Alabama into the playoffs. But if Auburn did beat Georgia, if Auburn beat Alabama, and then Alabama beat Georgia, I think from then you could have had the argument of, okay, you have a one-loss Georgia who just lost to Bama. Would you put in Georgia above Florida State? Like, that would have been the argument. I don't know if you would have still put an undefeated then FSU in or not in over a team that didn't even win their conference, but that would have been interesting for the committee to kind of dissect a little bit. But, just like I said, the way that things were shaping up in college football, Georgia fans knew that they had to win the SEC championship game. So I really haven't heard much of we deserve to be in here, we deserve to be in here, we got screwed. I think it's for them, the argument is, okay, well, if you're going to put in Alabama over Florida State because of the eye test and they're the better football team, then the question comes in, like, why is Washington in over Georgia? If in that committee you can look every one of those members in the face and say, who do you think would win on a neutral site between Georgia and Washington? And I guarantee you 90% of them would say probably Georgia. So then why is it different for, Alabama, Florida State than it is Georgia, Washington? And obviously it's, because, one doesn't have a quarterback, one does have a starting quarterback, but it's been the issue with the committee the entire time. We've had inconsistencies with, how you rank teams. Ohio State was number 1 originally. They had the resume. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Penn State. So yeah, it's fine. But then why is Michigan number 3 and Michigan hasn't faced anyone? So I just think this year it's been a bad situation for the committee. Obviously, they're put in a bind where it was a no-win. It was essentially a lose-lose situation for them. But I just think they've kind of hurt themselves from the very start of just being really inconsistent with how they rank teams. And I think that's what, mostly not only, frustrating Georgia fans, but, other fans for other teams as well.
Aaron, when I'm leaving that game on Saturday, and coming down from the press box to the field, having conversations with different media members that cover mainly the SEC, I'm like, are they going to leave the SEC out of this deal? And honestly, because the Florida State game hadn't happened yet, and so we didn't know like if Florida State was going to go out there and dominate that game, there was a feeling that a lot of people had that the SEC was actually going to get left out. I'm talking to SEC Network people, and I'm like, look, are we done? Because obviously, like, they're going to travel to whatever the situation was going to be in the playoff. And like, I don't know, like, we might be done. Like, there's a lot of people around the SEC that thought potentially they could get left out. And I think if Florida State goes out and it looks different against Louisville, then Florida State does get in. Like, it feels like it solely came down to what type of performance they had.
Yeah, but I mean, my problem with that is I'm watching both games. So, I ended up being extremely just dead beat after all the stuff we did Saturday, and I ended not actually going to the championship game. I just came home, sat on the couch, ate some pizza with my 2 dogs, and enjoyed the football game. So I was able just to essentially tune into those other games right afterwards. And I'm watching Michigan, Iowa. I'm watching Florida State, Louisville. And at halftime, one game's 10-0, the other game's 3-0.
Yeah.
But you know what the biggest difference was to me watching and listening to both games? You had Joel Klatt and the Fox team talking about how great of a defensive matchup this is. Man, these two great defenses, they're getting after it, and this is a great game. And I'm listening to Jesse and Tess, and they're just dogging Florida State. Is this going to be a good enough performance? Are they showing enough to get in? And this offense isn't good enough without Jordan. It's like, dude, like, why don't you pump them up a little bit? Why don't you talk about how elite the defense is playing? Why don't you talk about that, hey, when you get the backup quarterback back, this was a true freshman making his first start in the rain in the ACC championship. Like, what were we expecting? So, like, I'm thinking to myself, Florida State's got a great defense. They got first-rounders on that D-line. They got first-round talent at receiver. They got a great running back. And you're going to get your backup quarterback back before the playoffs even start. So, like, why aren't we talking about the positives? But that broadcast decided to say, hey, let's just focus on how bad this football team looks. And Joel Klatt over there making the Michigan-Iowa game seem like it's a freaking Super Bowl. I thought that, to me, really, because the committe's watching.
Oh, yeah, they said they were
listening.
watching. Yeah.
They're watching, they're listening. And I guarantee they're hearing all that negative saying, man, maybe these guys are right. Like, Florida State ain't good enough. But if Tess and those guys were saying that this defense is elite and this defense has a chance to lead this team to a national championship, maybe it's a little bit of a different tone in that committee room.
No, it's actually a great point. I was watching the game with CD and PB, and we were at a restaurant, so you couldn't really see or hear, I should say, the TV copy. But I've certainly heard that from a numerous amount of people, Aaron. And I saw I think it was yesterday we played the clip. Like, Trevor Mattis, who said it. He's like, well, Florida State's now Iowa. And I was like, that is so highly disrespectful to Florida State. Do you think Iowa has a Jared Verse coming off the edge? Do they have a Keon Coleman running routes? Do they have a Benson playing running back? I was like,
nope.
Look, I don't know what narrative that's trying to get pushed here. And I love 3 yards in a cloud of dust, okay, more than anybody, and watching some Iowa football. That's highly disrespectful. Florida State ain't Iowa. They got Sunday players all across the board.
What? And I love everyone's like, oh, Michigan, if you put Florida State in, Michigan would steamroll them. I'm like, I don't think so. Have you watched Michigan football over the past month? Like, we want to talk about who truly is the best team in America. Michigan does not look like the best team in America. That's an offense that's kind of lost its way a little bit. They don't have the receivers on the outside that you thought may emerge. I think Florida State could defensively match up with them. I think it'd be a low-scoring game. Like, do I think Florida State wins? Probably not. But they got better receivers. I think that like we talked about, their running back's pretty darn good, and I think they have a really elite defense. Probably a top 10, top 15 defense. Like, why couldn't that defense slow down Michigan enough to keep it close and make it a ball game? So I just think, like, I look at FSU this year, and I'll say this too. You and I are SEC guys, obviously, and I remember in 2010, Cam Newton and Auburn. I played against them. I watched a lot of those games. Cam Newton was Superman. Yeah. You take Cam off that football team, it's a 6-6 team. Cole and I talked about this yesterday. It's a 6-6, maybe 7-5 football team.
Yeah.
Jordan Travis is not Cam Newton. Jordan Travis, even if he stayed healthy the whole year, was what, maybe a 5th, 6th, 7th round guy, if not a free agency pickup. Like, that team is more than Jordan Travis. Auburn was Cam Newton. Like, that ain't Cam Newton out there, Heisman Trophy, first pick in the NFL draft. When I'm talking about Jordan, and I like Jordan, and what he's done and developed into over the past few years has been really impressive. But that team is made up of elite players on both sides of the football, and that team deserved an opportunity to be in the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, we had Jim Nagy on off campus last week, and he basically said Jordan Travis was not even in line to get a Senior Bowl invite. Now, he praised him and said all the things that he did really well, but like even before the injury, like he wasn't in line to play at the Senior Bowl. So he was a draftable quarterback, but certainly not one of the quarterbacks in this draft. Aaron, I want to get your thoughts on the Orange Bowl, though, before we let you go here. It's like the disappointment bowl between Georgia and Florida State. Still, I mean, I think a great matchup, depending on who plays in that game. I don't know who plays for Florida State. There's a lot of people that think, they're going to play because they're mad. A lot of people think they're not going to play because they're mad. So I'm not sure what the rosters are going to look like. But, for Georgia, for Florida State, it's a very interesting position because both of you feel like you probably – deserve to be, if it's going with the top 4 teams, one of the top 4 teams.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing, like who actually plays in this game. I hope an example was set last year with Alabama and those guys playing, Bryce and, the DN on John Blake right now, both playing in the game. 2 guys that are going to be dropped in the top 5, Will Anderson. I was thinking Will Howard in my head. I was like, I know it's a Will, but why am I thinking?
Hey, because we've been talking transfer quarterbacks over the last 3 days.
I get it. Transfer portal right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, those 2 played. I remember I was on the call for that game for ESPN Radio and talking to them before the game, and why they're like, man, why would I not play in this game? It's one more opportunity for me to play with my boys. So I think hopefully that was a nice message sent to college football that, hey, man, like even if you're a top 5 guy, like this is an opportunity to play college football one more time. And you and I know this, like NFL is great. You get paid. It's a dream come true, but it's a different feel. It's the business. And I know college football is getting like that. And the roster change is crazier now than ever. And the amount of guys in the portal after one day, is just nuts. But the NFL is like that all year long, man. Your roster's changing. The guy next to you in the locker room is changing almost every other week. Like you don't get that same feeling of, being with your boys for 3 or 4 years. So, why not suit it up one more time? So I'm hoping that, like I said, that was the message that was sent across college football last year of playing in these games. But, it'll be interesting to see on both sides. I think for Georgia, it seems to me, and I'm not 100% on this, but the fact that Brock Vandagriff has hit the transfer portal, that Carson's coming back. So I anticipate he's going to play. I don't think Brock would play just because, he probably wants to. But I think because he's been so injury-ridden this entire season, probably not the smartest thing for him. But I think even like the other top guys for Georgia, there's not a lot of like top 15, top 20 guys on Georgia, or at least right now top 15, top 20. So I think a lot of those guys could benefit from playing in this game. So I do think you'll get the majority of Georgia's roster at least out there.
All right, there he is, our guy, Aaron Murray. Aaron, let's do this. Let's both text T-Bob to see how the trip's going, and let's see if either one of us gets a response before Friday.
Yeah, no chance.
There's
zero chance.
No, there is 0 chance. Aaron, you're the
All
man.
I know is I need to book my trip to Disney here soon, and force him to have the week to do some stuff.
Hey, if you need any bets put in, just holler. Just holler, because T-Bob even talks about it on the show, but then never goes through. So just let us know. We'll take care of you.
Oh, kills me. All right, well, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Aaron Murray, ESPN, Sirius XM, and you can catch him every single day. Great show, as y'all already know. Snaps on the Volume Sports Network with our guy T-Bob Hebert. All right, let's go ahead and take our last break of hour number 1. Wrap up this hour. When we come back, it is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to CommunitySteelCo.com, CommunitySteelCo.com. That is the website where you'll find one of our great partners, our local partners, metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal. No matter what you need, they've got you covered in the steel game, right? We've been talking about like metal roofs become in vogue, right? So you don't have to like have this huge project, even if it's just for a metal roof or even a metal awning. Like if you want a metal awning on your home, maybe in the back, whatever situation might be, like they're going to be able to help you. So don't be intimidated by the size. I mean, they are there to help certainly your business, but also your individual needs as well. And the thing that we love most about them is they are local. So if you need something, you talk to somebody that's going to get it done here, right? They're not going to call somebody else to get it done and somewhere in Dallas and Austin and Houston, Atlanta, all these other cities. They get it done right here in Gonzales, Louisiana. Call them today, 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call
The Dome. It's state championship week in high school football, and we get things started at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview presented by Brock. And at 7, it's the select Division I state championship game between the Catholic High Bears and Acadiana Wrecking Rams. All right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB. Just got the text from Matthew Clayton Flynn. Definitely going to be late. You didn't have to text that. We already knew that. Not sure how late that means, but whatever. We'll leave the door open for you. Kind of like the Red Roof Inn. We'll leave the lights on for you as well. All right, pull up that list, Taylor. Because we do want to do a couple of things here. Like, I want to shout out my guy, T-Bob Hebert. T-Bob Hebert is, without question, one of the top 100 personalities in college football. This is just the start. My man's on the list. He had to call Big Game Boomer out, and he did. He had some choice words for him. One of my favorite all-time clips of T-Bob. He's 100 right now. Without question, the next time we get this list, top 50. Now, he deserves to be in the top 10, but he's going to be top 50 without question. But look at Team OTB, my man T-Bob on there, both members of OTB on there. We've got our guy Aaron Murray. We've got our guy Chris Doring. I mean, we have got all of our people. Langer's up there in the top 10 as well. So love seeing all of our people on this list. All the guys that we do shows with. Coach Neuheisel, 51's way too low for Coach Neuheisel. If you've ever heard him do radio, he's like the GOAT at doing radio. But, man, it looks good. Just Roman Harper, all of our guys are on that list. T-Bob, top 10 in my book, going to be top 50 next time we see that list. But Team OTB is on the list, and that's all that matters. All right, we're going to take a break. More Hour 2 OTB when we have back.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service, or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Network of Louisiana and Community Steel. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681, offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is a.m. on Wednesday, December 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 61. Coming up on OTB, Matt Flynn joins the show in studio eventually. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, welcome in. Hour number 2 of OTB here on a Wednesday morning. This, and I say it every time that I'm hosting solo and it's Wednesday, but this does feel like old school hanging with Hester. We start the show. I know Matt's coming at some point. Not really sure when that point is going to be. Now, he wasn't the only one. Ronnie Rance was good for 3 minutes into the first segment showing up. Shout out to Jumbo. Hadn't seen Jumbo in a while, though he's not really Jumbo anymore. Ronnie looks great. Trying to think who else hanging with Hester. Dick Dixon was always, he was on time. A lot of times Dick Dixon would be in here waiting on me, so you didn't have to worry about that with Dick Dixon. I'm trying to think. Hunt was always on time. Gordy, a little hit or miss. Gordy's very, important deals. Got a lot of meetings. He's traveling a lot and always, watches his kids play sports. And so, G-Man was here as much as he could. But, it feels like it is old school hanging with Hester, a little 6 to 8 radio. One of the things that we did, and I told y'all about it yesterday, when we saw Joe Burrow and the Pete Warner tire pulling contest and how much fun we had with that episode, because at the time, LSU was a graveyard of quarterback play. It just was. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. There was times, like Mettenberger certainly had a run and had a great season and had many moments at LSU. And shout out to Zach Mettenberger. Saw him on the sidelines of the SEC championship game. He's helping out with tight ends there at Alabama. Going to have a big future in the coaching world. So there was that. And look, Danny Etling had times, but like part of us doing a full episode on him winning this tire pulling contest and making the Chuck Norris jokes that we made is because LSU had been bad at the quarterback position, and he was a name attached. It was Cincinnati and it was LSU. And we were trying to have some fun with it just to get a quarterback to LSU, because you just didn't have that. You didn't. Now, I'm not saying in the totality of LSU football history. My God, yeah, you've had Tommy Hodgson, you've had Burt Jones, and you've had Rohan Davey, you've had Jamarcus Russell, Matt Mock, Marcus Randall, Matt Flynn. Like, you've had times where you've had a quarterback, right? I'm not saying forever, but there for a while, what was the story? What was the narrative? You're going to play great defense, which some of that I would love to see back. You're going to run the football, and you're going to make enough plays through the air. And that was LSU football. That's what, you kind of settled on. But then the defense started to wonder just a little bit, right? And you didn't have the same situation. So then you were winning 8 games, maybe 9 games, and that was the ceiling. So as Matt Flynn walks in, just tell him about the times that we did the full 2-hour episode on Joe Burrow, tire wrestling, Pete Warner, and then the Chuck Norris jokes episode, because, well, we just were hoping for an LSU quarterback after about a decade of a quarterback graveyard.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, that was a good episode. Is that the one where I think I found his iPod in the quarterback room and we played all...
Oh, my God, I forgot about that. All the bumper music was Joe Burrow's iPod that you found randomly in the quarterback room.
Yeah, I don't remember what songs I played. I know it was like that one that says, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Yeah, I think it's just called "I'm the Man."
Yeah, I know.
Based off what you
Aloe Black, yeah. That is the name of the song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he was the man. But, okay, so we had some fun with that one. But here we are a couple years later. Now, LSU's going to have 2 Heisman Trophy quarterbacks in 5 years.
I know.
And we got excited because he pulled a tire away from a linebacker. Who Pete Warner, shout out, ended up being a second-round pick.
Yeah, so that was the only – I had never seen him throw a football.
You had not one throw, and you said that night what?
He's going to win the Heisman.
You did.
Yep, nailed it. A lot of people took credit, after I had already said it, a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, we got a new one, and I kind of feel bad we hadn't made one Chuck Norris joke with Jayden Daniels' name.
Well, we will before you get out of here today. How about that?
Deal.
I'll give you this laptop underneath me so you can look them up. Not right now because I know you.
Hey, that's an aggressive iPad case.
This is new. This is not like mine. It feels like it's bulletproof. It looks like RoboCop. It's not mine. It's the station's, but I'm in charge of it.
Okay.
So,
just the case or the iPad?
Both.
Okay.
Both. You're supposed to be able to plug this right here in, and then I can play sound from here. All right, so I don't have to, bug the boys behind the glass there.
When are we going to get a a video screen with the Cowboy remote so we can watch some film?
It's really, honestly, it's not even that hard.
I'm really good at watching film, and
Yeah.
you've never invited me to do some sort of film breakdown show.
Not for here. We did LSU, though.
We did one. We broke down our fourth quarter Florida drive one time.
Okay, so did we break down film?
Once.
Did you have a clicker?
Yeah, I did. Well, we had to go to LSU. We had to go to the quarterback room.
We could do it. The way we could do it is we just share the screen, right?
Sure.
And then we could have the remote. We have access to film. But you know what, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love our YouTube audience, and we are in a video studio, and right now currently we have 300 people watching. Shout out, hit that like button while you're there. Go ahead. We only have 39 likes right now. There's a lot of people listening on the radio.
That's true.
Driving in their car right now.
That's true. What is your?
That probably we'd have to work on how that's going to translate from video studio to the air.
What's the current ranking in the mid-market morning show?
You know what? That should come out here pretty soon.
Is it? Is it? It's like an end of the year thing.
I think so.
Sweet.
What were we last year? 12?
12. Yeah.
Okay, we're coming for the top 10.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw this. Can we put the big game boomer on this TV, Taylor? I'm not sure if we can get that done. I don't know if you saw this.
I heard about you
Top
talking about it.
100 best media personalities in college football. They did the right thing, and my boy's on the list.
Dang.
My boy is on the list.
Dang. Mr. Irrelevant.
Whoa! Whoa! No.
No, that's amazing.
No.
No, Mr. Relevant's like a
That's
good
true.
thing these
Brock
days.
Purdy's made it really actually pretty cool. That's actually a great point. So look.
Let's see.
I think we break into the
pretty
top
legit,
10.
dude.
I think we break into the top 10. Now the morning show that's ahead of us that won last year, if we're going by average, Cole Kubelik's number 3, Greg McElroy's number 99. Okay? So I'm 14 and T-Bob's 100. So they have a little bit better average than us. But if we got into an Anchorman war, Team OTB. I mean, because we get to bring friends. If you are on OTB at any point during the week, so you're in.
Oh yeah.
I'll make Sean Jordan come in for a Friday so we can use him as well.
I haven't even heard of a lot of these people. Chris Vanini, not a person.
All right, go to the name. Go to the name that you think is made up.
Josh Pate.
Josh Pate's.
He's very famous.
He's very famous.
He's top 4.
Yeah.
David Ubben from Missouri.
Ubben.
That's fake person.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ben Hartsock.
Ben Hartsock's one of my co-hosts.
Nope, he's fake.
Ben Hartsock played a decade in the league while we were in the league.
Yogi Roth. That's a made up name.
Yeah, Yogi Roth played football at Pitt.
That's a good name.
But
it's a
covers
good, strong name.
but covers the Pac-12, so there's no reason you would know Yogi.
Yep.
He's really good though.
Let's see. Stanford Steve. I've never heard of him, but I respect that one.
You've never heard of Stanford Steve that comes on with Scott Van Pelt?
No.
I was just talking with Stanford Steve Friday.
No.
Okay. Bad Beats. You don't know that segment?
I've heard of a Bad Beat.
Yeah, they have a segment. It's
I'm
really
sure
popular.
everybody's got a segment like that.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it.
That's it.
I mean, I can name a lot of people, but I actually have heard of a lot of these people. So
Good
for me.
Good. Gosh.
Credit to myself.
I'm sending Ben Hartsock that I'll be with Ben Hartsock in Boston for Army Navy this weekend.
Dennis died. So that's a second Missouri guy I've never heard of.
Yeah. Okay. So
David
Missouri.
Blackman?
So
Nope.
Missouri has an incredible journalism school. So that's why you're going to see like Chris Button, who coached with me on Thursday. She's number 15 on this list. She does sideline reporting as well. She's on here for Mizzou. That's why you see, a ton of Mizzou.
I'm sure there's someone in like
Conley.
mid-market, like Tucson, Arizona, saying they never heard of T-Bob Hebert as well. So
I don't believe so.
you don't think so?
Nope. When you hear the name T-Bob,
I get it.
with you.
I get it. But I don't know how many people in Tucson are listening to Snaps or OTB or something.
Millions.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right.
Your favorite top 100 media personality. Your favorite on this list.
On this list?
It can be anybody. Yeah.
Big Cat.
So not the guy that literally kept human beings from tackling you and hitting you as hard as they possibly could.
Who's that?
Not somebody that you didn't throw the ball to enough my senior year.
Oh, dang, dude, I didn't even see your name.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you go Big Cat. Did Big Cat ever keep an Auburn linebacker off of you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He's way funnier than you.
I agree with you there.
So,
But this isn't about being funny. This is about protecting you.
Hey, who'd you pay to get number 14?
Hey, I went from 23 to 14. Now,
Again,
we will say this is not based off of OTB. Now, Team OTB being on this list, maybe we need to take this to the brass,
Look,
get a little pay raise.
I
But
just
this
wanna
is
know.
based off snaps for T-Bob and for his rival show on Stadium. This is based off campus on Sirius for me.
You're 8 spots ahead of Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
This list is flawed.
No.
Okay.
No. Hey, Herbie won at Alabama in the playoff.
Okay. All right. It's good. Y'all crushed it.
Thank you.
Any
Any other slight you'd like to throw at me for being at 14?
Chris Fowler, man, pretty good.
I mean, he works one day a week.
That's a good point.
That'd be pretty
Not
good
every
too.
day. Dude, hey, congrats. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive stat there.
Some of my favorites, obviously.
Never heard of that guy. Barrett Saleh.
Barrett Saleh.
Barrett Saleh.
Yeah. Some of my favorites, obviously T-Bob, Will Compton's on here. Shout out to Cole Kubelik, Alyssa Lang, Chris Button. Yeah, but Herbie's probably number one.
Yeah, that's gotta be, right?
I mean, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Herb Street's got to be number one.
Oh, look, Megan making money. She's in there.
Yeah. A lot of LSU, Bug.
A lot of Barstool
Shout out Bug.
people.
Yeah. Shout out Booger for top 10.
Right.
Representing LSU.
So are you going for top 10?
Number 18. I want to fall back.
That's
4 spots.
That's smart.
Yeah. I'm going to fall back 4 spots. It's on brand.
It is on brand.
Yeah.
Good for y'all, though. Congrats.
I'm going to get you on this list.
Yep, absolutely. I do 1 hour of radio 1 to 2 times a month.
Yep. Hey, you've been pretty consistent this football season, though.
I feel like I let y'all know when I'm not coming, ahead of time.
Yeah. Except that one day that I didn't think you were coming in when you showed up. I have never been so happy to see you.
How about the one day I showed up and y'all were like in Mobile or something?
That was our bad.
That was messed up.
That was our bad. But also, if you would have been listening to the show on your way in like you should have, you would have known we weren't there.
Yeah. So I texted you earlier and I was asking, or I told you, like, going to be late. Extraordinary amount of traffic this morning.
Yeah.
And you texted back, yeah, and the sky's blue. Like, I know that was kind of a slight of me, but then I got to looking up in the sky.
Is it gray?
I got to wondering a little bit. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I learned this in school. What actually makes the sky blue?
And that's why I love you.
Yeah.
The fact that when I sent that text, you weren't like, okay, cheesy dad joke. You were like, why is the sky blue?
Have you ever wondered this?
Now I am.
Yeah.
Should we go let's do this. Let's take a break. And then we'll
look
go
it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll go
I'd like to
full.
see.
We'll go full 6 to 8 radio. Okay, we've talked about the Heisman Trophy. We'll talk about it again. We'll talk about LSU playing in a bowl game. We'll tell you how bad the Saints suck and all those things.
Ooh,
right?
yeah.
We'll talk
Florida
about
State.
that.
Yeah.
We can talk about Florida State, but we'll also tell you why the sky is blue when we come back.
I don't know if anybody knows.
It's OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
sure there's-
ESPN Baton Rouge, New
Somebody.
Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I'm sure there's one scientist that knows why the sky is blue. Like Daniel Basham says, the sky is blue because of oxygen. It's probably a good point.
Okay.
But
You said
how do we know
oxygen
oxygen's blue?
Yeah, get out of
Go
here.
to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. If you're buying new, go customize that vehicle. Go customize the van. Go customize the full-size, midsize SUV. Go customize your truck. Go customize your sedan. Whatever you want to customize, you can do that. That doesn't mean you just add. You can also take away. If it's something you say, hey, we're not going to use that while we have it on our vehicle, you can do that. It's whatever you want. So go get that done today. If you're leasing, everything's available. If you're renting, you guessed it, everything is available. So if you have a holiday trip coming up, or if you have people coming to you and you have to host and you don't have a vehicle big enough to get around town, that's when you can call All-Star. Go ahead and get it reserved. Maybe you're going to the bowl game. Maybe you're going to Tampa to watch LSU take on Wisconsin in the Dairy Raid. Maybe so. Go rent a vehicle. Reserve today. allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. Saints' first injury report of the week is out. We'll learn Derek Carr's status. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. We'll call this hanging off the bench.
Hanging off the bench.
That's what T-Bob and I used to call it whenever we'd help each other out. We'd fill in. It used to be hanging off the bench depending on what show we were on. And since you were here, you were an OG. You've been doing this, Matt. Let's see. 2018?
Yeah, so I remember you had your
5 years.
You had
We're about to have our 5-year anniversary
kickoff show
Yeah.
at
Sullivan's.
Sullivan's. Yeah, and we had to do the show on stage with all of
It was me, you, Ronnie, and Hunt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Who else co-hosted with you?
It was y'all and Gordy.
I know Gordy.
Gordy was-
you had a different person every week though, or every day.
Yeah, Gordy.
Yeah,
You,
Ronnie.
Hunt,
That's 4.
Ronnie, and Dick Dixon. What did he? I don't know if he started out. Oh, we didn't have Friday shows. Remember? We didn't have Friday shows at first.
Let's listen at Friday night.
Friday night, nobody's going to listen. Everybody's high school football.
Yeah, that's true.
And so then, once they said, okay, well, these guys, they're not great, but they don't suck that bad. They gave us Friday.
Definitely not good.
They gave
at
us
all.
Friday afternoons at walk-ons in Prairieville.
Yeah, those are fun. Those football Fridays are fun.
They were. We got fed.
And then we did.
a ton of food
we
and
went
had
down
a couple
to
cold pops.
the Red Stick social.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, moved it there.
Yeah.
And so
we kind of rocked it.
Yeah, we kind of did. Minus the kind.
Oh, we did it for 3 years because we did the walk-ons on corporate.
We did.
Yeah,
we did.
Or maybe that was in the spring.
We
or
went
something.
corporate, and then we went
okay,
to
same year.
Prairieville in the
It
same
switched every
year.
week.
Yeah,
Okay.
it switched.
Got it.
And then we went to Red Stick Social, and
That's
then
fun.
I think when I started doing shows,
couple of pops in the afternoon.
Yeah, couple pops. Remember, the board op's the only person that can't drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think when I went to Hanny, you went MIA because you're trying to build my high or whatever. DrinkMyHigh.com.
Yeah, I
didn't see you for a while.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of.
Took a sabbatical.
How long were you with Handy?
Not very long.
Yeah.
6, 7 months, something. It was one of the moves during COVID.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you're back.
I'm back.
And now we're going to find the answer to the question, Taylor, why?
Allegedly, why?
Is the sky blue?
A short answer. I know it's the short answer because it says the short answer. So gases and particles in the Earth's atmosphere, they scatter sunlight in all directions. Well, blue light is scattered more than other colors because it apparently travels in shorter, smaller waves. So you just see blue more.
So you're telling me
So
that
it's not really blue.
I'm actually getting hit with all colors?
Yeah.
Just seeing
Apparently,
the blue?
but blue travels shorter, so you see blue the most.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, I mean, that's just what the internet says.
So let's see. So I stare at a computer screen all day. I wear some blue light glasses.
You're such a nerd.
What?
They work?
I think so. I feel like I used to get some headaches at the end of the day, maybe a little blurred vision.
Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with you playing a decade in the NFL,
And
but the blue
as a
light glasses
businessman, it
fix
makes me
that.
look a little bit smarter. Feel smarter.
Okay, I can go behind that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't believe that though. The whole blue sky thing.
No, that's erroneous.
I mean,
inside the Bayou 4 chat. Remember the day the Comrex died at walk-ons?
Yeah.
What
do we have to do?
I was not very happy.
What do we have to do?
Remember, it sounded like we were talking in a soup can. Madison had to book it. I have never been so mad, I think, in my life. I'm yelling at Cade, our program director at the time, go national, play Stephen A. Smith. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time,
I think they ended up doing it after.
They had to. It sounded like we were talking in a Campbell's soup can. At the time, that was our biggest show of the week.
Mm-hmm.
We were the 6 to 8 guys.
That was the moneymaker.
That was the moneymaker. We get a chance to
killing.
be on from, I think it was 1 to 3. It might have been noon to 2. Whatever.
That's
I don't
the
remember.
day we made tens of dollars.
Yes. And so if you waste one of those days, I'm going to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bush League.
We stayed there and still
We
drank our
did.
free beer.
We worked for about 7 minutes. It didn't work. Madison was trying to make it work. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's just enjoy these cold pops and let's just enjoy this free food. And we just sat there.
As for the remotes, has the technology improved any? Because you think that I think they got the technology. I just don't think at the time.
Yeah.
that
So
the
I
studio
don't
had invested in.
So I don't know. So like, if you don't know what we're talking about, so like a Comrex is basically like if we're doing any kind of remote on location, a Comrex, I could be here and I can connect to somebody else. Like if Cole and I were doing a show, he'd be in his Comrex in Birmingham, I'd be on mine, and that's how you connect to each other when you're not like physically in the studio. And it's still a technology that people use. It's still not great. They're very expensive. And actually, so for SiriusXM, a lot of our older hosts, they still have Comrexes that they use. But I use Zoom. I have a Zoom and I have a couple of pieces of equipment that it goes through to make it sound like a studio. And it's just much easier because I can be anywhere in the country as long as I have internet and I can just fire up the Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be going the way of the white buffalo.
Ooh, great white buffalo.
Yeah.
So what does this studio do though? I know you do Zoom when you go.
We do Comrex, right?
Yeah, but it's like built in. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
a
So
portable.
it's back here. Yeah.
Huh. All right, fair enough.
And now you know the rest of the story.
So we still use Comrex on location. It's just it hasn't died yet. I mean, I guess there's some improvements. I mean, you got two guys back here that have filled in for Ronnie with a Comrex a couple different times on sports shorts, and we never had an issue.
Oh my God, Ronnie and his his issues. Like Ronnie's Comrex, it looks like a deuce and a quarter. It looks like the biggest, oldest vehicle you've ever seen. Like it is old. It is hanging on by a thread. It is Owen Wilson and Wedding Crashers.
It's equivalent to the in-studio headphones.
Yes.
They're all.
Hey,
it's all breaking.
Did you know that we actually found out that it's actually like where you put the headphones was broken? It wasn't the headphones that y'all kept trying over and over again.
I'm hearing like every third word you're saying.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's not broken. Again, it was air quotes fixed, but that was the reason.
Well, look at this. This thing's a little. The plug-in for this one's sitting at a 45-degree angle.
Taylor, can you zoom in on Flynn and get the angle that headphone jack is? All right, get ready.
Pretty
if you got nose
sure
hairs, you gotta
that-
see them. Sorry if you're listening on the radio. You can go back and check this out. This thing, it is swerving like it's George Jones right now. Not you. You don't swerve.
I'm trying to get it with a good
Yeah,
background.
there you go. That's good. I mean, look, you can see where that's.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
There's no way both ears work on this thing.
That might be your issue.
Sure.
That might be your issue. All right. Got a couple questions inside the Bayou 4 chat.
Smart.
Wants to know about Aaron Rodgers and if it was the My High to his incredible recovery.
It'd be hard to prove that it wasn't. Really? Either way.
I thought you were going to go the complete opposite way. No, that's it.
I mean, it's pretty impressive what he's kind of done to this point, right?
Yeah. He's come back from a minimum 8-month injury in 90 days.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like just working extra hard because he's just trying to, I don't know, flip off modern medicine or whatever. I have no idea, but it's pretty darn impressive.
The fact that he's out there, and I don't know if he pushed it, what that would look. Just take the headphones off. It's fine.
Nope.
I don't know if he pushed it, like if he would get hurt sooner, but just watching him in drills, the fact that he's doing that is impressive. Like just minimal stuff.
Yeah, no, it's kind of amazing, like what what the human body can do. Like if you're like
hydrated,
if you're hydrated for sure. I don't know. If just like mentally you truly like believe in something and like you just like.
God, I am going to get blasted for this take. I'm going to get blasted for it. My wife is going to be the first one that blasts me for this take. I feel like if you're sick, okay, and I'm not talking about a disease or something. I'm talking about if you got like a common cold, how you attack it mentally depends on how long it lasts.
I 1,000% agree with you.
Thank you.
I refuse, even if I'm sick, I refuse to believe that I'm sick.
Now there's things that like if I have something that's not curable and I'm not taking this take too far.
Yeah.
Right? But
why do you think
my father, Joey Hester, shout out, used to tell us being sick is mental.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of physical stuff in there for sure. But I would say I agree, like this is going to sound kind of hippie-ish, but like the power of like thought and like your belief is extremely incredible. But Like in a real world application or a sports application, why do you think momentum in a game is so strong? Because like your confidence level, like you believe you're going to win. And so when you believe you're going to do something, like you start doing things a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's not this, if momentum's going one way, I hate to say it, it's not because of the crowd.
Yeah.
It's because of confidence in the players. Yeah. Like it's the same guys out there.
Yeah.
It's the same guy calling the plays. But if you do it with a little bit of confidence, that's just kind of like a sports reference to it. But
when we played against y'all,
why'd you say Katie's gonna?
Because she rolls her eyes when I say that.
Oh yeah. Every time like I'm sick, I'm just like, nope, I'm not sick.
Yeah.
I'm beating it.
I ain't got time to be sick.
Yeah, I got a cold.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. We're playing y'all, I think probably 2010, 2011. I don't really know what year it was. Y'all were undefeated. What year were y'all undefeated pretty deep into the season in Green Bay?
2000. It was after the Super Bowl. So it was 2011. We got to 13 and 0.
Yeah, and we played y'all when y'all were 11 and 0.
Yeah.
And
almost beat us, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're talking about that confidence. We like going into it, we knew we were talented and y'all got ahead a little bit, then we came back. And you talk about the confidence more than any game in my NFL career. Like that's where I agree with you. Like we got this confidence because y'all were undefeated. We're the Bush League Bolts. We were talented, but we'd underachieved. We were probably 5-5,
sure.
Knowing us.
12 fans in the stands.
Yeah, well, no. Thousands of Green Bay fans in the stands. But I just remember this like ultimate confidence that at some point it flipped. And I remember being on kickoff and we were ready. Like we were hyped up. And then y'all's returner caught it and like 11 of us like hit him as hard as we could. And it was like, if we would have started the game with this,
right, exactly,
we would have beaten the Green Bay Packers, who are 11-0 right now. And I remember like saying, like trying in my career, like, all right, you got to start fast. Like you're a team captain now. Like you got to get, all those things like start going through your head. And I'm like, because once we felt confident that we could beat Green Bay, because it didn't feel like we were confident coming in, well, hell, the game changed.
The game does change, man.
Even though I did drop a pass in that game. It was raining in San Diego. Us Southern California guys didn't know how to handle it.
Huh? What? Yeah, that was. Yeah, no, it's so true. We don't need to get. You and I aren't qualified to have a philosophical discussion about anything on air, but yeah, I believe. I strongly believe in the power of the brain.
We warned the people this was going to happen.
Yep. Did you warn the people?
Yeah, I said this next segment is going to be old school 6 to 8 flustering. We used to do 2 hours of this.
That's right. Damn right we did.
And then I would try to put you on the spot and get you to name at the time the 14 SEC head coaches, and you went 7-4. You got 7 right, so 7 for 14. 7 right, 7 wrong.
Good memory.
Could you do 10?
You're gonna do that now for me?
Could you do 10 SEC coaches? Just tell me if you think you could do it, and then I'll decide if we're going to do it.
I
think you could.
I could get close.
You know what's changed? You know why you could now?
Why I could?
Why you could? You could do it. You could get 10 now. You know why?
Why?
Sports betting.
Man, maybe. I mean, I watch a lot of sports. I don't really
why?
like. I don't do that stuff, man. I don't bet. You want me to do it now? Is that what you're saying?
No, not now, because now you're lying to the people about some things. So
I mean, I like the
dabble
shekels on there. I dabble.
Okay.
Play the lines a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I took some early. I took some bad beats early, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Look, early season kind of sets the tone for me as far as like a gambling season. I took some tough beats early, so I kind of put a little break on it, put a little pause.
Hey, self-awareness.
I've been enjoying the daily fantasy stuff though. Kind of scratches that itch for you a little bit, but it's
it's like $9.
Yeah,
sometimes for like a pool. If you want to get into a pool,
exactly.
like $9.
Bro, I was into a game one time, and there was like 3 minutes left in the game, and I was in the couple of 100,000 ranking.
Yeah, I've
and
had
I was
that
like, and then a kicker missed a field goal.
Yeah, and you probably won like $600.
Yeah,
which is good.
No, it was great.
But
it was like a $5 buy-in or $10 buy-in.
Yeah, and you win like $600. Okay, but
yeah, no, it's great.
For a long time,
like
you had
get your
6
hopes
figures.
up. Oh yeah,
yeah. I've had about 5 of those. It's not great.
If you want to like ride an emotional roller coaster, just definitely pick both defenses.
Yeah,
and like the quarterback.
Yeah,
and then like for the first couple minutes of the game, you're winning like
$1 million. Yeah, and just to see your name attached to $1 million.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was one time, it was a huge NBA daily fantasy, and I won it. I was number one. And yeah, number one. And the top prize was like $50,000. But listen, the only problem was I was number one with about 900 other people. So 900 of us, because it was a single game daily fantasy where a lot of us had the same lineup.
Yeah.
So I finished number one, got $800.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the 50,000.
It's like uber impressive when somebody does a single game matchup, like on the primetime football game, and one guy wins $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
Because he picks the one guy
100
that nobody picked.
150,000 people enter this pool, and one guy had a different
He picks
lineup.
the third string tight end that catches a goal line touchdown. Nobody else had. He gets 7 points, and that's how he wins.
I get it.
All right. All right. I get taking breaks because we got to take one. We'll take it now. More hanging off the bench when we come back here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yeah, meet them as they sign the officially licensed National Championship Baseball book. Secure your piece of history this Wednesday.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Find advice for both daily and traditional leagues, including which players to start and sit with the NFL Fantasy Forecast. Saturday mornings at 8 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Voisin inviting you to join us Wednesday night at 6 for Louisiana Prep Weekly. We'll be live from Walk-Ons in Zachary with our special guest, Zachary head football coach David Brewerton. It's Louisiana Prep Weekly, Wednesday night at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I thought you asked for
Welcome back.
Christmas trap music.
I did ask for Christmas trap music in Mario.
Oh, my bad. I
Gave
thought
me the,
most generic Christmas
most
song
generic,
of all time.
I thought you said you
one.
liked it. I didn't know you wanted it every time.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done the Natchitoches Christmas lights?
What do you think, being from Shreveport?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
N-A-T-C-H-I-T-O-C-H-E-S.
Yeah, Natchitoches.
Well done.
Natchitoches.
Who decided that? Like, seriously,
I
who
don't
decided
know.
that was a good idea?
Yeah, like, that's not how you spell it.
Because, like, I get it.
I mean,
like,
it is how you spell it. Okay, look.
Like the Louisiana, South Louisiana, like the Cajun, like some things are pronounced and spelled a little bit different, but that, I mean, that's not even close.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I have been to the.
Okay, let me rephrase
the Light
question.
Festival
Have
there in
you
Natchitoches.
been to the Light Festival with the kids and everything since you've been living in Baton Rouge and like
No.
making the trip there and back?
Oh, no. I have
like,
not done that.
Because we want to do it. We're just trying to figure
Yeah.
out like what makes sense. Like, do you go and
Yeah.
stay? Like, you can't make that drive there and back, right?
2.5
Is there a
hours.
place to stay? in
I've
Natchitoches?
done it.
I mean, yes. So there's hotels.
I
There's
get
certainly
that.
motels.
There's certainly motels.
Yeah.
I've lived here my whole life. I've done it 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
there and back, same night.
Same night.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
worth it?
Yeah,
There and
it's
back.
pretty fun. Yeah.
Pretty fun's not worth like 6 hours in a car.
Not with 3 children.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
I
think
amazing,
there's like an older, downtown type hotel. Now it might be tough to book this year, but I think they actually have like a pretty nice spot.
Yeah.
I think.
I just didn't know if there's any pro tips out there, like, hey, go there and then like go back, go
Hey,
to Alexandria.
you can
or
go.
what- I don't know.
You can go to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. That's in Natchitoches. Now Ronnie's going to put in like a bass fisherman,
Sure.
a rodeo clown, an astronaut, whatever.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to be in there.
We'll never be in.
We'll
Nope.
never be in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And he's always like, yeah, well, it's like it's the totality of what you've done in Louisiana. Look, the rodeo clown didn't win State Player of the Year in 5A in high school
Sure
football.
didn't. Sure didn't.
The bass fisherman didn't win a national championship for
Yep.
LSU.
Played high school football in Texas, but the state champion in Louisiana was scared to come play us. So, what's up?
Yeah. Do you want me to
Does
pull
that
up the
qualify
USA
me?
Today article again, like I did last time?
Yeah, because I believe what media says.
Your coach said it.
Fake news.
That's not fake news. But you can go there, even though, again, we're not included in the Hall of Fame.
We were going to chop the hell out of you guys, too. That's why y'all didn't want to play.
Jeff G says, damn, I got you guys. I work with, lives over 2 hours away. Make that drive every day. Flynn wants to overnight a 2-hour trip. Well, you can't hide money, Jeff.
I don't believe. Now, I drove to Tyler a lot, drove to Shreveport a lot. It is not a 2-hour trip.
Natchitoches is 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's 2.5. Yeah,
Well, let's not underplay it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
an extra hour
it might
in
actually-
the car with 3 young kids.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It could be even longer than that, depending on how fast you're driving. Because I can get to Shreveport in 3:40.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit closer to 3 than it is 2.5.
Not to mention, you don't want to get a ticket in Crotch Springs in the speed trap or anything.
Well, you got to know better than that.
Yeah.
When you go over that bridge, you're going to be waiting.
Oh,
on you.
yeah.
You have to know that.
Got to hit those top of the bridge, slam it down to about 35.
Yep.
And we coming over there at 50.
I would say pro tip, if you don't want to drive almost 3 hours, I would say that there's probably a spot in NOLA that you could get the same,
There is so at City Park. We've done the City Park one.
Okay.
And it's incredible.
You're looking for something
you always
different.
hear about the Natchitoches stuff. So I'm trying to I'm not above doing a 2.5 hour there and back all in one day. I just want to know if it's worth it. It was a simple question.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
I don't need to sit here and be persecuted because I'm asking the question. Come on, guys. Is it worth it? Is it better than City Park?
It's different. It's different.
What is different about it? Is
Big
it
Fave,
still like a little drive thing?
Big Fave says, he texts us both, from Tyler to Shreveport is definitely 2.5 hours, sometimes 3.
No.
Big
from
Fave.
Tyler to Shreveport?
Big Fave, are you walking?
Come on, dude.
Are you hoverboarding? Are you skating?
Segway.
What? It's like an hour and a half.
It's 2 tops.
Tops. Yeah, it's if you run into some traffic. But if you get a little heavy foot, it's an hour and a half.
No doubt. And as soon as you get into Texas, it goes up to 75 mile an hour speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like seriously, like
Big Fave.
If you're in interstate and you're not at 75 mile per hour, it's 2023.
Yeah.
Step it up.
Yeah. Step it up and step it down more.
Yeah, exactly.
Importantly. If you step up, you're going slower.
Yep. Anyway, Big Fave, you're wrong. Love you.
Hello. Before we let Flynn go, all right, so we're going to take our last break with Flynn, unless we just make him stay later since he was late. Give us some information. Ronnie Rance, Jumbo, if you're listening, give us some information. Where does he need to go? Do you have a spot, Ronnie Rance?
Yeah, I guess what I want to know is, should I just do City Park again, or is it worth the extra effort?
It's different. So it's not like you can walk through City Park and all that.
Yeah.
That's not this. Like you can drive through, see all the lights, but like what most people do, they see the lights, they get out on the river, they have the Christmas firework display and all that. So it's not like walk through the lights. It's a little bit different.
What you do? You go do that, then you go visit the City of Dreams. There's a water park. All right, let's take a break. More flustering when we come back.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
This Sunday, as we bring you 3 different NFL games, we'll kick things off with our noon kickoff. It's the Jaguars and Browns. Immediately following that, it's Bills and Chiefs, and then our nightcap, the Eagles at Cowboys. Tune in to hear all 3 of those games here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
There it is. There it is. One of your former teammates signed with the LA Rams today.
Nice. Who's that?
Mason Crosby.
Did he really?
Yeah. Thought you'd like
Good
that.
for him.
Yeah. Hey, he's got to be old. He's our age. Probably. He's older than us. Right? He's old.
Yeah, he's older than us. I like.
He's in his 40s.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
I think he was either 06 or 07 draft class. Not like that old.
Still older than us. We're 38.
Oh yeah, he's been having grays for a while.
Okay, no, I thought he was 40.
He's 39. He's older.
Yeah, so he was 07 draft.
From Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah, went to Colorado.
Didn't know into Lubbock or from Lubbock.
Mm-hmm.
Jayden Daniels probably going to win the Heisman Trophy this weekend.
Better win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah. How about his growth? We were talking about it before he came on, man. And they helped him out offensively. They gave him some things that they didn't give him the year before.
Yep.
But the growth he's had throwing the football down the field, where you've got draft experts that I really do respect saying he's the best deep ball thrower now in this draft.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
He's always done things. Ever since he got here, he did incredible things. And that's why, for a while I was like, man, I just want him to. That's why I was kind of so hard on a lot of the little things and not in the consistency, because you see it, but you didn't see it I don't know, man. Just something switched with him, and he just did the game slowed down. I mean, just got to that level where he's just playing different.
Yeah,
and
he slowed down. When you watch him, there's not a panic at all in the pocket. And for most quarterbacks that have his running ability, there's a panic in the pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're always kind of twitching and looking to, when he runs, it's not because he's looking to it. He goes to his progression, and then with smoothness, just finds a gap and runs through it.
Yeah, he got to the level that Burrow got to playing the college game. We're like, okay, this guy is past the level. He is now an NFL player playing at the college.
Yeah.
Playing college football.
Yeah.
And it's just a different speed, it just looks different and looked effortless, and you got to the point where he's not going to have a bad game, and he's going to get it done because he's just better than everybody at this level right now.
You and I were both at the A&M game together. We had some things to say about the other side of the ball, but on the offensive side of the ball, like those throws that he was making, putting it in a spot where only his guy could go make a play.
Yep.
Like he didn't have that. That was growth, and it's confidence too. I mean, you can speak to that, and we've got about a minute left. You can speak to that better than I could. The confidence to know you're going to put it in that spot.
Yeah, just like we were talking about earlier, power of the brain, baby.
There you go. Bring it back.
Hey, real quick, I know we're about to end. Are you?
Well, no, I'm going to be here for another hour, so you can hang out if you want to. Okay.
Did the committee get it right?
What committee?
Playoff.
I think Florida State deserved to be in there.
So you're saying that
I think Alabama's one of the 4 best teams. I think Texas is one of the 4 best
teams. They didn't do the right thing.
I think football is the ultimate team game, and they have 84 other scholarship players.
Yep.
And I think Florida State has enough around the quarterback position to be able to justify putting them in the playoff and giving them a chance.
Yep.
They've got Sunday players all over the place.
I think college football, I think the Power Five, I think college football made a statement multiple years ago and said that we don't really care about the Power Five because we're only going to put 4 teams in a playoff.
It's fair.
And ACC's not built like the SEC, buddy.
Although they have a winning record against the SEC this year.
Yeah, against the bottom of the barrel. It's like us bragging about being Indiana and saying we got a better record against the Big Ten.
What did Indiana do to you?
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com. You can call them at 855-660-1027. You can text them at 225-442-0646. You can get the consultation set up right there on the homepage of RejuveMeMedical.com. One of the things we tell you about, go to the list of conditions they can treat for you. Fatigue and insomnia, right? Mood and memory problems. No matter what it is you've got going on. Maybe you know something is going on, but you don't know what that is, and that's why Rejuve Me is there. They are there to get to the bottom of whatever that issue might be. So go ahead and get that consultation set up. Remember, they've got locations in Baton Rouge, Houma, Metairie, Prairieville, Shreveport, Slidell. They are all over the state of Louisiana. So go ahead, get that done today. Figure out why you're not feeling like yourself, right? Go get the blood work done. You're in, you're out. We've told you too many stories of people. It's an easy process. And then they call you. They tell you what plan they're going to get you on, but you can't get that plan going unless you visit them at RejuveMeMedical.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m. on Wednesday, December 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 61. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, including our conversation with Aaron Murray, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let me go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3 of OTB. Do apologize. We were just trying to, a little late coming back in this segment. We were trying to talk Flynn into making the drive to Natchitoches for his kids. Don't be selfish. Make the drive for your children. They have hotels there. They have motels in Natchitoches, and we're just trying to get that done for him there. All right, we do have some news. Taylor, you threw me this one. It just came across the wire. We were talking about, why the clouds are blue, but it came 9 minutes ago. LSU is finalizing a 3-year extension to retain offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock, and that is according to our guy Ross Dellinger. Denbrock, a Broyles Award finalist, led the top-ranked offense in the country this season and helped develop Jayden Daniels into a Heisman finalist, and I'm adding this is not Ross, into probably a Heisman Trophy winner. That's great. Great news. Mike Denbrock did great things this year. I think the tandem of Mike Denbrock and Joe Sloan is one that I would like to see in Baton Rouge for a very long time. They did things this year that we never, let's be honest with ourselves, we never thought we'd see offensive football match 2019. But that's what they did. Now, the totality of the team did not match that, but offensively, number 1 offense in the country. 6,573 yards. 8.53 yards per play. I just got chills. Truly, I just got chills when I said that number out loud because look at the other offenses. Okay, you're 8.53 yards per play, so damn near first down every time you snap the football. Oregon, who's number 2 offense in the country, only 7.7. Liberty, who's number 3 offense in the country, 7.2. North Carolina, who's number 4 in the country, 6.7. Oklahoma, who comes in at number 5, 6.53. So 7, 7, 6, 6. You have 8.53. That is not only the number 1 offense in the country, that's dominating everybody else. Touchdown scored, right? Oregon only had more than you at 76. They played an extra game. You were second in the country with 73 touchdowns scored. Yards per game, and this is where it really gets good for LSU. 547.8 yards per contest. Playing in the SEC, playing against a team like Florida State in a non-con, 547.8 yards. All right. Now, boys, Oregon is number 2 total offense in the country. LSU at 547. Would you like to take a guess at what Oregon was in total offense, yards per game?
What was LSU again?
547.
Oregon, 525.
I'm going to go 546.
526. So pretty close there. That's 21 yards better.
Yep.
And so if you're like 21 yards, that's not a lot. No, when you're talking about total offense, that's a ton as far as yards. Like if we went to total defense, like between 1 and 5, there wouldn't be a huge gap. It'd be like, 12 yards. We're talking 21 yards between the top and the number 2. It's as dominant as you possibly can be offensively. So, yeah, Mike Denbrock deserves to get an extension. Again, I don't know what the staff looks like, and certainly on the defensive side, and we got some sound from Brian Kelly maybe we can get to here in this segment or next about what that looks like. But you can't deny what they've been this year. And I think Joe Sloan and Mike Denbrock together, along with Brad Davis on the offensive line, and all the coaches. I mean, Frank Wilson, y'all know what we think about Frank Wilson. I mean, he's one of the GOATs when it comes to running back coaches. But that staff together, they deserve a lot of attaboys because they were good last year. It was a good offense. They were elite this year, and elite against elite competition. We're talking about a team that they finished, I believe, 5th in the country strength of schedule. If it wasn't 5th, it was right there around it.
Yeah, it was in the top 10.
I know it was firmly in the top 10. I think it was 5th. Maybe it was 7th. Regardless. Top 10, top 5 strength of schedule, and you put up 547.8 yards per game. I mean, that is remarkable. And Mike Denbrock was up for the top assistant coach in the country. He didn't win it. Iowa's defensive coordinator, Phil Parker, actually won the Broyles Award. And look, I'm okay with that. The defensive coordinator for Iowa and all the deficiencies that they had, and LSU had deficiencies, but Iowa maybe even more so with their offense and LSU's defense. So Phil Parker actually wins the award. I think they had the 5th defense in the country, but time of possession was crazy. Like they were on the field, I think, more than, if I'm not mistaken, more than any defense in the Power 5 this year. And it might be of all 133 teams. I know for sure it's in the Power 5. And so Denbrock falls short of that, but he doesn't fall short of what they did this year. Again, top offense in the country, and so he gets rewarded for that. And so now we know, that obviously Denbrock's going to come back. Now, Joe Sloan's interesting because, I mean, he is a name that a lot of people, as far as like if he wants to make the next step, does he want to be a head coach? I mean, that's a name that I would pay attention to. I think he is somebody that would thrive in that situation. Selfishly, I want him here in Baton Rouge, but I would understand why anybody that's looking for an up-and-coming coach would move after Joe Sloan. But defensively is what we're talking about, right? We're talking about what kind of changes they're going to make that way. Can we get Kelly 6, Mario, ready to go? And there's still going to be evaluations. Remember, you have a very kind of sensitive time right now as far as what you feel like you can do and what you want to do. And I say that because you right now are currently in a portal window that opened up 2 days ago. You're 14 days away, 2 weeks away from your first signing class. So it's a sensitive time in the fact that you want to probably finish out both of those things. Certainly finish out the high school signing day. Like the transfer portal, I believe, closes on January the 2nd, so you're not going to wait till then. But here is Brian Kelly talking about potential changes.
Last week was really about our players. This week we're really recruiting, and then we'll get to other evaluations within the staff. Once recruiting goes dead and our coaches' responsibilities have completed, they have responsibilities, and they have to finish off their responsibilities to LSU. Then we'll do evaluations of staff, and so that's another week away.
Again, we're not going to hear anything right now. I would be shocked if anything major happens before you have a high school signing period. Again, that's 2 weeks away because these coaches have built these relationships, right? Even if they're not going to be here, like it kind of is what it is. No matter what position you choose, whatever, DB, offensive line, receiver, like that coach at any place in the country, they're going to probably stay. Now, you have some that have already been told they're going to be let go, or some maybe that have gone to another job, but they're going to stay intact there until you get through that high school signing period. And then you could potentially see some changes. Now, on the defensive side of the football, I think we all think that's going to be a position coach situation. And I don't know that there's going to be changes. Like, I have not heard that information. I think there's going to be changes. I would assume there's going to be changes because, like, there's a standard of excellence at LSU on that side of the football, and that, that excellence was not met this year. So, like, that's something to pay attention to. But one thing that we know is Mike Denbrock did a hell of a job this year. Top offense in the country. The stats are incredible. The stats are elite. You're going to have the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. You should have the Biletnikoff winning receiver. Now, look, the guy who's probably going to win the Biletnikoff, Marvin Harrison Jr., found his way to New York. That's even more shocking to me. Again, I feel like I have to have the disclaimer because I don't want this to sound like I'm throwing shade. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a better football player than I ever was, but he's not a Heisman Trophy finalist. He's not the Biletnikoff award winner for me. Like, that's Malik Neighbors. He's probably going to win the award, talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. It should be Malik Neighbors, right? So you have that. You have an offensive line that potentially, could win the Joe Moore Award. I'm not sure if that finalist list has come out yet, but I know that they were on it the last time that I saw a list. I mean, you have got a lot. Like Logan Diggs, before he got injured, like, he was on a hell of a path to being somebody that was really, really special. So this offense deserves all the credit. This offense deserves their offensive coordinator getting a 3-year extension. This offense is probably, you hope so, as far as staff, going to stay intact, because even going back to last year, there's things on that side of the football that they have done that have helped LSU win football games. So congrats to Mike Denbrock for getting rewarded for that season that he just had with a 3-year extension that, again, was from Ross Dellinger, our guy over at Yahoo Sports. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Let's take a break. Let's get into more of this sound, but let's get into some New Orleans Saints discussion. We heard from Dennis Allen, I believe it was Monday, on his press conference. Want to play some of that sound. We'll get into the Saints-Panthers when we come back here. It is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. And just like we tell you every single day, because it is factual, no matter what you're looking for, they have got you covered over at All-Star. That's if you're buying new. That's if you're leasing. That's also if you're looking for a rental. And right now, the holiday times, we like to push the rental process because, well, they have everything available. It's incredibly easy. They have per-day rental prices. In the holiday season, you're doing a lot of traveling or you're hosting. So either way, if you're traveling, you want something bigger. You're hosting, you need something bigger. Maybe you're traveling and you want something better on gas. Like, it doesn't have to be this big family trip. Maybe it's just you and one other. Like, whatever it is, they've got you covered. So check out those per-day rental prices, again, on All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. But while you're there, we always encourage you, check out the new vehicles. Check out the leases they have. Everything's available in that process as well. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hurry into your local Acura dealer for the Season of Performance event going on now.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Schneider's Golf Mechanics. J.D. Piquel, who's he picking for the Heisman? It's a What If Wednesday, and we'll talk some more LSU football. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. What was that music?
To be perfectly honest with you, Hester, I was pulling up the sound bites and kind of had to make it audible there.
Okay. I just, didn't hear the Christmas music. Just, hey, accountability. That's all. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
All right.
All the time.
I got to be accountable sometimes for my Kentucky takes. And there's some news for Kentucky. Brock Vandagriff, the former Georgia quarterback, former 5-star quarterback, has committed to the University of Kentucky. So another year, another transfer quarterback there in the Big Blue Nation. So as we continue to get these quarterbacks and where they're at and where they're going, we'll give you that information. And we'll also talk New Orleans Saints here. And it's been a bad mood around the New Orleans Saints as they get ready to take on a 1-win Carolina Panther team. And this game is going to be inside of the Superdome. You should have every advantage in this game. But just with the way the last couple of weeks have played out, I don't know that a lot of Saints fans feel confident. Remember, now this was a long time ago. It was week number 2, but you only beat the Panthers 20-17 the last time that you played them. And so in this contest, who are you going to have available? Now, we'll probably play all 3 of these, Mario, but let's go ahead. Will you have Derek Carr? Here is Dennis Allen, injured quarterback, Derek Carr, in an update.
He's in the concussion protocol, but he was also being evaluated for, rib injury. We don't have all the results back on that, but the shoulder seemed like it came out fine. So, look, we'll evaluate him as we go throughout the week to see what his availability will be.
All right, so yes, he has other injuries. He has the rib injury. He's had the shoulder, the AC joint all season long. And yes, he's got another concussion. Now, the concussion part to me is the most important here because we're talking about a player that has now had 2 concussions in a short period of time. Here is Dennis Allen talking about him having those concussions, and is there any worry putting him in the game?
Yeah, well, look, I think that's really kind of in the hands of the medical people in terms of where we're at with that. And so I think John Amos does a really good job. He's pretty conservative in those things. So we'll go through the protocol and listen to what the doctors tell us and see where we're at.
Now, this was a question that I had because, full disclosure, I did not know what this process was. Now, when I was playing in the NFL, there wasn't, somebody that kind of buzzed down and said, hey, go get number 22 out of the game. He's got a concussion. That just wasn't part of the process, right? You see a couple of black dots, you pick the one in the middle, you shake it off, and you get back into the game. Now, luckily, they've had the ability to have someone that's independent there to be able to recognize when concussions take place, and Derek Carr has had two in, again, a short period of time. We're talking about a 4-week span. And so I wanted to know, and this is Dennis Allen, does the protocol change after multiple concussions?
I don't think the protocol changes. I think that's more, obviously the doctors are, probably a little bit more cautious in those situations.
All right. So my best guess is that you don't have Derek Carr this weekend. So you're going to have Jameis Winston. And you're going to have a version of Taysom Hill play quarterback as well, but you're going to have Jameis Winston be your starting quarterback. And Jameis this year has completed 53% of his passes. He's thrown 3 interceptions to 2 touchdowns. He came in last game, very lucky not to have a pick six go the other way, was just off. Now he's going to get all the reps. He's going to be the guy that within this week of practice, he knows he's going to be the starter, I would assume. Derek Carr not being out there would be shocked if Carr plays in this game. And, well, they got to get Jameis ready to go. He's got to be the guy. He's got to play better. Here is Dennis Allen talking about Jameis Winston in practice this week.
Jameis, he does some good things. He's been a starter in our league. There's a reason why he's here as our backup. And, if Derek's not able to go, then, the plan right now would be, Jameis will be in there and we'll put a plan together, gives him an opportunity to have success.
It doesn't matter who plays quarterback for the Saints this week, be it Jameis Winston, Derek Carr if he comes back, if Taysom Hill ends up playing more quarterback than we expected. And it hasn't been great. Derek Carr has not been great. Jameis hasn't been great when he's come in. Taysom Hill is, it's a different style of quarterback. Obviously, you're trying to do some Q runs. You're not going out there and having the full totality of the playbook available. But it doesn't matter. You're playing a 1-win football team. You're playing a team right now that is in a 5-game losing streak. The only game they won, shockingly enough, is against a good team in the Texans. But when you start to look, 33-10 against the Cowboys. They lose to the Titans on the road by a touchdown. They lose on the road to Tampa Bay. They get blown out by the Dolphins earlier in this year. They got blown out by the Lions earlier this year. It is a team that's fighting. You see fight. They're just not any good. They fired their head coach. There is no reason for you not to have, again, Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, whoever play quarterback, because you don't have a normal backup situation, right? You don't have a guy that we've never heard of. You don't have a guy that was an undrafted free agent rookie. You don't have a guy that was playing in the XFL or the USFL a year ago. No disrespect to those guys. They made a roster. They're, living the dream. They're finding a way to hang on to an NFL career. But you don't have that situation. You've got a former number 1 overall pick. You've got a guy that you signed to a nice backup quarterback deal. He's kind of getting money that like a low-end starter gets. All right? So, that's what you've put on your roster in case this happened. You got to go win. There's not going to be an excuse. If you lose this game and you use Jameis as an excuse, if I hear Dennis Allen come and say anything about that, he should be in the conversation of being in trouble if they lose this game anyways, but I don't want to hear that. ESPN matchup predictor, analytics that we use all the time, they give the Saints a 71% chance to win this game. I would even put it higher than that. You got to go win. That's all there is. You've lost 3 games in a row. You lost to Minnesota, you lost to the Falcons, and you lost to Detroit. All right, you lost on the road to Minnesota by 8. You lost on the road to Atlanta by 9. You lost at home to a really good Lions team. I love the fight that you saw from the Saints. And the players haven't quit on you. You can't lose at home to the Carolina Panthers. So there's so many things. Now, I don't believe the Saints will do anything because they've not shown that. But there's so many things that feel like they should be on the line in this game. And I'm talking about the future of people within this organization. You're at home. You're fighting for your playoff life. You're 5-7 in a very bad division. But you know what? You're still tied with Tampa. Atlanta 6-6. You still play Atlanta down the road. You're fighting for your playoff life. If you lose to a 1-11 Carolina Panther team and changes don't happen, something doesn't happen, it makes you think, are they ever going to happen? Are you ever going to get away from holding on to what Sean Payton and Drew Brees and everybody, kind of built there in New Orleans? There is so many things for the Saints that really should be within this one singular game. I don't know that they will be, because the Saints have not shown that they'll move on, certainly in a season. But that's embarrassing if you lose this game at home with everything on the line, knowing the team that Carolina is, no head coach, rookie quarterback that's really struggling. You got to go win this game. I mean, it's must win because of the playoff situation, but it's must win if you want to keep your job if I'm in charge of the Saints.
Yeah, jobs can definitely be on the line Sunday. They probably should be. And we're, 12 games into the season. We pretty much know what this team is. The team, like you said, has not given up. Guys do a good job of rallying and being professionals. But I'm certain a big part of the Saints fan base would prefer to them to lose this game, just so that you could rip off the Band-Aid, just so those changes can maybe come. I'm kind of curious to see the mentality of the Who Dat Nation going into this one.
I mean, I'm the same way. All right, so maybe it's because of where I played my professional career. I'm never a fan of other teams taking over your stadium, and certainly not a place that I hold in the highest regard as far as when it's rocking. It's one of the best in the NFL, in the Superdome. And normally I would never say this, but I can understand the frustrations of the fans. I can understand Saints fans watching that product and being disgruntled. I can understand it. And we all know how much money it costs to go into those stadiums. We realize what it takes to take your family to an NFL game. We get that, right? Give them something to cheer about. Because when you do, they're one of the best fan bases in all of the NFL. I'd say one of the best in professional sports, right? But when you continue to do the same things over and over again, and they're not successful, and you showed no willingness to change those things that are not successful, why in the world would I show up and cheer that on, right? Make it look different. Last week was a step in the right direction. And I'm not a moral victory type guy. You lost the game. You got down 21-0 to a damn good football team, and you fought your way back. You scored points in the red zone. I don't care how bad Detroit's been at stopping teams, because at times it looked like you could have played the Little Giants and they would have stopped you on the goal line, okay? So the fact that you scored 4 times in the red zone, that's a positive, right? The fact that you showed fight and got back into that game. The defense stepped up, bowed their neck, right, at times to keep you in that game, give you the ability to go score points, all right? You can see it all over Alvin Kamara's body language. He wants it. He wants to win football games. He wants to be successful. And I know he's got to be frustrated. There ain't many lanes to run in behind that Saints offensive line, but he's in it. He's doing everything he possibly can to help his team go be victorious. So give them something to cheer about. Give them something to show up about. Give them something to pack that Superdome and make it one of the best venues in sports again. All right? You have to get that done. This is as must win as any game that you'll have this season. It's winnable. It's against a bad football team. Your back's against the wall. And if you don't get it done, then changes need to happen. And so we'll see if the Saints are able to get that done. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. More of this conversation when we come back here. It is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to the website, GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. You still have a couple of days. In fact, you got a day and a half. That deadline is going to be December the 7th. And, of course, we're talking about the 488 bikes that Gordon is giving away here throughout the state of Louisiana. Now, Alexandria, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Monroe, Shreveport. Remember, that was November the 30th deadline, but be on the lookout for those winners when they get announced. They're going to be announced in Lake Charles, Lafayette, Alexandria coming up Friday, December the 8th. On Saturday, December the 9th in Shreveport and Monroe. And then that deadline is tomorrow for Hammond and Baton Rouge. And then the announcement comes on December the 15th. So again, go to GordonGives.com. That is the website to sign up. Follow them on all major social media. @GetGordon is always going to be that handle. You know the number, area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
The Dome, it's state championship week in high school football, and we get things started at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview presented by Brock. And at 7, it's the select Division I state championship game between the Catholic High Bears and Acadiana Wrecking Rams. All right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gonna shake it, gonna bake it, gonna make it good. Gonna rock it through your neighborhood. Gonna read, gonna sing it till it's understood. My rapping about to happen like a knee you been slapping, or I told you been tapping on a hunk of wood. Bought a red suited dude with a friendly attitude and a slave full of goodies for the people on the block. Got a long white beard, maybe looks kinda weird, and if you ever see him, he can give you quite a shock.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
All right, welcome back in. OTB. What was this, Mario?
This is Curtis Blow, Christmas rapping.
All right. Hadn't heard this in a very, very long time. Texas A&M is making a move at offensive coordinator. Colin Klein is going to be their next offensive coordinator. And if you remember that name, it's because, well, he's been the offensive coordinator at Kansas State, but also was a great quarterback at Kansas State. Finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting in 2012 and has emerged as one of the nation's top young play callers. Only 34 years old. And he spent most of his time as alma mater, Kansas State, serving as quarterbacks coach and becoming the team's sole play caller before the 2022 season under head coach Chris Klieman. Now, Notre Dame pursued Klein for its offensive coordinator vacancy after the 2022 season, and he has drawn interest from other smaller schools for their head coaching vacancies. But since the start of the 2022 season, Kansas State had ranked 20th nationally in scoring. In 2022, when Kansas State won the Big 12, the offense finished in the top 10 in school history in 11 categories, including second in offensive yards, fourth in rushing, and fifth in yards per game. Texas A&M's a big move. I think it's actually a really good move for them. Anytime you can pull somebody away from where they played, where they've coached, really the only place that they've ever known, and a place that is stable. Right, Kansas State is a stable program. They're a top 25 football team. Chris Klieman is one of the better coaches in college football. So A&M probably opened up their wallets, and they made it intriguing as well for Klein to leave Kansas State to go be the offensive coordinator there in College Station. And I'll be honest with you, when I see you were Jimbo Fisher, Bobby Petrino, now you're Mike Elko, Colin Klein, that to me, that's an improvement.
I agree. I think it's potentially a really good fit with him and Elko. Elko being a defensive guy.
Yeah, he'll be the head coach of the offense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'll have good dominion and a lot more talent than he did at Kansas State. And I'm also curious to see if Elko's experience at Texas A&M can kind of help him usher in this new era. I know they were still decent when he was over there, but maybe he kind of saw where stuff went wrong with the Jimbo Fisher regime, and maybe that could benefit him going forward.
On the surface, this hire doesn't do that much for me. I like Klein. I think Kansas State's offense was fine. Was it explosive? But what I do like about it is, you mentioned it, Colin Klein was a very good college quarterback. That's been a position of concern for Texas A&M. Connor Wegman's had some nice moments, but he's been inconsistent as well. Jimbo was supposed to be that guy. You brought him in and you're like, Jimbo, you're the quarterback guy. Let's make a great thing happen. For whatever reason, that didn't resonate with Jimbo in College Station. So when you bring in an offensive coordinator who specializes in the quarterback position, where that's been a spot of need for you, I think it was a good hire overall.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's something that's going to benefit them. I think they're going to be a more diverse offense. I think they're going to have more, 2023 college football offensive principles in their game plan than they've had certainly in the last 6 years under Jimbo and under Bobby Petrino. So I think it's a good move. And again, anytime you get somebody away from what is the ultimate home, somewhere you played and you've coached, I think that's a good deal. It's hard to do. It's hard to pull somebody away. I mean, Tommy Rees, right? He leaves Notre Dame to become the Alabama offensive coordinator. It was kind of a very similar situation, and I think Tommy Rees has done a really nice job this year, certainly in the latter portion of the season, of figuring out exactly who his players were and calling plays to those strengths. All right, before we get to LSU's bowl game, remember this segment's brought to you by Skull Axe Throwing. Go see them off of Lee, right next to Mike Anderson's. Go to their website. Go ahead. Remember, you can book this 7 days a week. Go to gcaxe.com, and you can check out the menu, right? You can check out all the different things that they offer over at Skull. You can book now as well. So if you want to go ahead and book in the future, make sure that you get that stall ready and available to you, right? No matter if you got guys night, girls night, date night, whatever it might be, go try them out. Skull Axe Throwing, again, go to the website, book that appointment. It's right off of Lee next to Mike Anderson's, gcaxe.com. All right, let's get into the LSU Bowl. Relic West Bowl, the artist formerly known as the Outback Bowl. It's in Tampa, Florida. It's going to be in Raymond James. And ESPN.com put it out there. They did like a little bit about every single bowl game, kind of some early predictions, what they thought the score might be, a little write-up. And for this bowl game, by the way, it's going to be on New Year's Day. It's going to be a noon Eastern kick on ESPN2. Wisconsin's rocky first season under Coach Luke Fickell ended on a positive note with wins over Nebraska and Minnesota. A Badgers defense that ranks 18th nationally in points allowed faces the nation's top offense in LSU, which eclipsed 40 points in 8 contests. Opt-outs are definitely a storyline for LSU, as quarterback Jayden Daniels and others face decisions about playing in the bowl. Wisconsin knows it will be without all Big Ten running back Braylon Allen, who is off to the NFL. Even if LSU is shorthanded, it should have enough to outlast Wisconsin in Tampa, and they predict the score to be LSU 35, Wisconsin 24. I expect LSU to win this game They're going to have some opt-outs. That's just going to happen. We don't know who yet. Brian Kelly's talked about that. They'll find that information over the next couple of days. Like they probably, I would assume, would have had maybe a bowl practice get-together this weekend, but the Heisman Trophy ceremony probably changes all of that. You're going to have basically your offensive staff that's gone up in NYC for Jayden Daniels, as they should be. So maybe that delays some of that conversation, but you got to go win. Just go win. Wisconsin's not good. They're 7-5 this year. I think Luke Fickell's a hell of a football coach. He's going to get them on the right path. It might be as soon as next year. It ain't this year. And their best player, Braylon Allen, right? He would have given you fits because of the style that he runs the football. He ain't playing in this game. If Jayden sits out and you've got Garrett Nussmeier at the helm, right? You can have that offensive line because they're all coming back for the most part, and I don't expect any opt-outs there. You're going to have more than enough to go out there and be successful. What does the receiver room look like? I don't know. Malik Neighbors has said he wants to come back and play in the bowl game, and I understand why. He wants to be the all-time leading receiver in LSU history. He's already got receptions. He wants to be yards. And that might not mean something everywhere, but I'll be damned if it doesn't mean something here. We could go through the list of receivers. Hell, if we just go back in the last decade and we go Odell and Jarvis and Jets and Jamar Chase, like that's all. We could just go back 10 years. You're talking about elite company. You're talking about guys that have done it at the highest level on Sundays, right? So to be that number one, he'd be taking it over from Josh Reed. And a lot of LSU fans remember when Josh Reed and Rohan were hooking up, man, I did not know that we'd ever see production like that. I mean, it was like a cheat code when you watch Josh Reed go against that Alabama team and setting records. So he holds the record right now. Malik Neighbors potentially could play in this game to go out there and break that record. You've got a slew of running backs. I don't know which ones are available, but you know you've got a lot of running backs, including young players that are going to be available to you. Defensively, I wouldn't expect anybody to opt out of this game. I would assume that you've got, healthy bodies available there as well. What improvements can you make during bowl practice? You've got a later bowl game, so you're going to have more opportunity to kind of evaluate your own roster as you get ready for the roster management portion of it as well. You should have every advantage in this game against Wisconsin. Yes, they have the nation's 18th best defense, but they played in the Big Ten West, where you've got some of the worst offenses in America. All right? I'm not trying to throw slide at them. That's just what it is. All right? You play in a division with Iowa and Minnesota and all of these teams that are just deficient on the offensive side of football, right? Illinois, Purdue. We can go down the list. Go win the bowl game. Go get to 10 victories. That was your goal. After you lost your third game, you've mentioned it multiple times, and I agree. Go get to 10 victories. Is this season what you wanted it to be? Probably not. You had high expectations. You're not that far away, though. And if you go 10-3, right? You were 10-4 a year ago. You stay on track. You got a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. You've got momentum that you've created in this season, certainly offensively. You can't be as bad as you were defensively, and you're staying on the path that you've tried to stay on. After a couple of seasons, won your 500, won your one game under 500 after a bowl loss, for the next two, for you to win 10 games, that's where you have to start to climb. Now, the expectation at LSU is always going to be to win SEC championships, to play in that game, and to win national championships and to play in a playoff. But remember, even within this season, in which there's been some disappointment, you were on the verge, if there was a 12-team playoff, of getting in. You're going to have the benefit of the doubt. Not that much has to change for you to be right back into the playoff. Winning this bowl game is important to the bottom line of the momentum of LSU's kind of future, not only in this offseason, but in the near future when we start talking about who's coming here through the portal. What is next year's high school recruiting class, right? You can recruit off 10 wins. I think LSU has every advantage in this bowl game. Would love to see them go out there and close it out. All right, speaking of closing it out, we'll do that when we come back. A little extended version. Go ahead and get your questions in. Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Cruise Light, Busy Heart Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet. Ask the Bench when we come back. It's OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. That is your one-stop shop for all of your plumbing needs. That's in emergencies if you have a situation pop up, any kind of plumbing situation. Now, we kind of like to go to one of the toilet situations that we talk about, but it's not that. All emergencies when it comes to plumbing. So if it's a shower, if it's, wherever, if it's a kitchen sink, no matter what it is, they can come out there and they can help you in that emergency. And that number, 225-925-8552, go ahead and put that in your phone, because the last thing that you want to do is to have people over for the holidays, have family staying at your house. You have an issue and you can't get it fixed. But you can get it fixed as soon as you pick up the phone, because 24/7 also means 365 with Central Plumbing. And go to their website. You can find all the information we tell you about every single day, centralplumbing.org. Find all the information on tankless water heaters, bathroom remodels, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. Saints' first injury report of the week is out. We'll learn Derek Carr's status. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
I want to remind you to go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. You want to play that pontoon parlay, DraftKings Sportsbook app. Promo code Baton Rouge. NBA season's here, so you put in that promo code Baton Rouge your first time signing up, and you bet $5 on the NBA, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Y'all, that is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And remember, if you're a returning customer, They got all kinds of great game day deals going down for you every single NFL game day. So join up with the boys on the Pontoon Parlay on DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. Must be 21 or older. Physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
All right, welcome back in. OTB, time for Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cola Cruise Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet. Ask Jake, what brand is your hoodie? I believe this one is Fabletics. Got a subscription. Me and my wife share the Fabletics subscription. You pay per month. If you don't use it, you get a credit, and you get a bunch of discounts. So actually, I think maybe these are Nike. Anyways, joggers, sweatshirts, Fabletics, that's where most of my stuff comes from. Ask the Bench, can we get a Harlow update? Has she wrapped daddy around her little finger yet? Yeah, like a long time ago. She will be, she'll be 6 months here in a couple of weeks, so already, growing fast. Looks just like her dad, but mom is the best friend, as you can imagine. So Harlow's doing great. Maybe we'll have an Ask Harlow like we've had an Ask Jackson and an Ask Memphis before. All right. Ask the Bench. Do you feel cheated we didn't get LSU versus Iowa?
Not really.
That'd be fun, though.
Yeah, I guess it would.
Great on great, deficiency on deficiency.
I was reading the stat to you guys earlier. Iowa has 3,100 yards total offense, 4,100 yards of punting, so 1,000 more punting yards than they do offensive yards this year. That's awful.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's not great. Ask the Bench, did you watch the college football show Sunday and find yourself blaming Moscona? I don't know. I guess I hadn't seen Matt's take on this yet. I think he was in Florida State's favor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, no, I see a lot of Florida State people giving him love for his monologue yesterday. I think he's on the same page as us.
Ask the Bench, your favorite Christmas song.
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree I really like. Also like Last Christmas.
I like Lil Saint Nick. That always gets the dopamine flowing for me.
I mean, y'all know me. Blue Christmas by Elvis. Ask the Bench, what plans does OTB have to increase the female audience and finally crush Murphy, Sam, and Jody? We got to come up with a better plan during the new year. New year, new me. New year, new show. Maybe. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
We're coming after him, though.
Always.
Murphy, Sam, and Jody.
I think the boys of OTB calendar would do well.
Huh. There's 4 of us, so we'd have to do multiple months.
That's fine. We each get 3. Yeah,
we each get 3.
Yeah.
Mario, what months you want?
I'll take the fall.
More clothes?
October, November, December. Yes, sir. That would probably actually do pretty well. I think. Maybe not.
Okay.
I'm going to go
summer months?
the summer so that I can be in my truck bed for one of them. Also September, that's my birthday month. So
in your truck bed?
Yeah.
Have you thought about this before?
No, we actually talked about it before. You may have been out that day.
Okay. Maybe we did. I don't know. I want to remind you to go to patientplusuc.com, patientplusuc.com, Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Become a member today with unlimited visits for only $20 a month. You can learn more about that at their website, patientplusuc.com. You know there's going to be a location that is convenient for you, near you in the Baton Rouge area. You also know they're going to be open 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. every single day over at Patient Plus. So go ahead, go to that website, book your appointment. Walk-ins always welcome as well. PatientPlusUC.com, Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better. All right, let's see.
Ask the Bench, are you going to make an effort to watch the Pels and Lakers tomorrow, Hester?
Yes, I will. I actually watched the most of the Lakers and Suns to kind of see where both those teams were. Now, I was hoping it would be the Lakers because I just like playing the Lakers. I think it brings a different energy because of the deal that you made with them, and there's kind of like a little history now between the two teams. And so, yeah, I can get behind the Pelicans and Lakers. I'll be watching that.
Whatever the odds are of Najee Marshall and Jackson Hayes getting in a fight, I would take that bet 1,000%.
Like with each other?
Yes.
Oh,
with each
okay.
other. Jackson Hayes and now L.A. Laker.
Guys, is he even playing, though?
Very, very little.
I was about to say, I don't remember seeing him, and I watched most of the game last night. Yeah, summer wearing jorts and Hawaiian shirt T-Bob would definitely take over the calendar. I mean, he'd be the star of the show. I don't think there's any question about that. Ask the bench, which bowl matchup are you most looking forward to? I'm going to go outside. Like, if I go outside the playoff, and my New Year's Six bowl game would be Mizzou and Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. My other one, though, outside of that, would probably be Oklahoma, Arizona in the Alamo Bowl.
I want to see FSU and Georgia. I want to see how motivated they come out and if they can, actually hang with Georgia.
I'll go chalk here with the college football playoff. Washington and Texas. I'm really looking forward to that one. Penix versus Ewers. I'm excited.
That one's going to have some high-powered scoring, it feels like. And I know Texas rush defense is really, really stout, and they give up, well less than 100 yards per contest. But Dylan Johnson, what he's been doing on the ground for Washington, because you have to respect Michael Penix and those three receivers that they have, like you've really got an offensive matchup that I'm looking forward to. I think it's going to be a really, really good game. Very excited to go cover that game and go to that game down in NOLA. Ask the bench, when's T-Bob's suspension going to be over? Monday. He'll be back on Monday. The suspension will be over. I forget what it was this time. I think it was something on whiskey and wine, but that will be over on Monday. I'll be suspended tomorrow and Friday, and I'll also be back on Monday. So y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Mario Taylor going to be driving you home to end this week's shows for OTB. They'll see you the same time, the same place tomorrow, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.